Proudly sponsored by Typeform.
Good morning and welcome to the final day of the Qatar Goodwood Festival 2026 here on Racing TV. And as we approach the fifth and final contests, I think it's fair to rewind the clock back and refer back to what we've enjoyed so far. There's been so much of it, as good a Goodwood as you could have, with Scandinavia power packed on Tuesday, Diamond Necklace foot perfect on Thursday, American Affair roared back to life yesterday in the feature sprint, and the jewel in the crown, that was the Sussex Stakes, won by the unbeaten, brilliant Boeco on Wednesday. So, as we approach the final few races of the Qatar Goodwood Festival, there's still one major chapter yet to write when it comes to the big races. It's the big cavalry charge of the week, the Coral Stewards Cup.
Proof it under this Welton burden is a group horse in a handicap and will win the Stewards Cup.
Lancelot Dulac is going to win. Cardem explodes into the lead, Cardem, and is quickly away, and Cardem is all class and wins the Unibet Stewards Cup. Comanche Falls rushing home, so too Chief of Chiefs. It's Comanche Falls getting up, Comanche Falls. Comanche Falls and Tabdean, oh, on the dot, Comanche Falls might have won it again. Aberama Gold from Apollo 1, and Aberama Gold has won the Stewards Cup. But Get It has got it. Get It wins the Coral Stewards Cup. On the stand side, Two Tribes has come through the lead the way. Two Tribes wins. Follows up the Ascot win. Strike Bridge probably just second.
Final day and another feast of quality racing here at Goodwood. And of course, we have seen all of the previous winners, some very special winners of the Stewards Cup. It is the spectacle, 27 horses charging down the Goodwood Straight, and 6 horses have won it twice. Comanche Falls is one of them. And of course, Two Tribes today will be attempting the same feat. And of course, it's the final day, the last hurrah for Ed Arkle, the clerk of the course, one of the busiest men in racing, I would say.
Well, I don't know. Busy week anyway.
I mentioned 27 horses charging down here. It is a wonderful spectacle, isn't it, the Stewards Cup?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And I love standing, when I used to come here before I was working, down on ground level, look at that sort of 5 furlong rise and then see them all come over the top like a cavalry charge. Brilliant.
And the draw, obviously done very publicly, and
Yep.
a little bit of champagne, and we make quite an event of it here at Goodwood.
Exactly.
They were kind of rushing for the high numbers early.
Yeah, they seem to be. We called it good to firm like yesterday during racing, and it's still that today. The going stick readings were 7-4, 7-4 stand side and middle, and then 7-8 on the far rail, which obviously suggests the far rail's quicker, but I don't think walking it particularly feels that, and I don't think any of the evidence really we've seen this week so far would suggest there's any sort of a bias.
Oh, we're looking down the track. I mean, it's just looked wonderful all week, and happy with the amount of water and everything.
Yeah, 4 mil on the straight last night and 4 millimetres on the bend. So yeah, no, very pleased with everything. Grounds team, you know, as I've said, I think every day have really worked very, very hard, and they've done a great job, and it's testament to them that we've had this great week and the great racing, and we've seen the performances we have.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of chat about any draw bias, which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. I haven't heard anything.
Not
so
yet.
not exactly, not yet. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, are you expecting it to be faster? Any part of the
No, I
track?
don't think so. I mean, the idea being that we were trying to, with the 4 mil we put on yesterday evening, we were trying to hold it where it was yesterday. And I think, you know, that's sort of nice, good, firm ground. And as I say, I don't think there's any evidence of it not walking it, but obviously that going stick says it's slightly quicker on the far side. So.
Yeah. Very quickly on yesterday, the stalls up here for the extended 2.5 miles.
Wasn't it?
I loved it.
Yeah, really, really good. Amazing atmosphere down there. We've had so much positive feedback from it. And I think there were more people watching what was going on with the stalls and the running rail than there were watching the first bit of the race. But it was a great effort. I think they had them all off, cleared and ready in 1 minute 57 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they were very pleased with
yeah,
that.
it worked wonderfully well, and I actually could see like all the racing fans like trying to get down there just to, and also what we're seeing as well, you know, all the hard work and the stall handlers, because to see the way they move and how organised it is and how effective it can be.
Yeah, exactly. And people, you know, we do run trips to the start here, but actually for so many of the crowd to be able to see what's going on, and the box holders and people in hospitality, it's really, really good. And it's a good insight into racing.
It was cool. And reflections on the week as a whole for yourself as we wind down the final day?
Well, so far, fantastic racing. I think we've seen some really, really good performances, some great horses, and lovely to see, you know, really good field sizes, competitive racing. That also, you know, we've obviously had a lot of favourites coming in. I'm not sure the bookies are massively happy about that, but
listen, they're always crying.
Right, your words, not mine.
I'm always winding them up. Never mind about that. But we're set fair for another glorious day here at Goodwood. Thank you so much.
Nice talk. Thank you.
And a wonderful week. Absolutely brilliant, and all of the compliments are heading in the direction of Ed Arkell and his team. And yes, it is the last hurrah here at Goodwood, but before we look forward to another brilliant day, let's reflect on another unforgettable afternoon yesterday.
Archivist now from Ancient Rome over on the far side, staying on his Cerulean Bay Classic, but it's Archivist. Archivist wins the big handicap of the day. American Affair down the stand side, up the middle, time for Sandals and Rumstar. What a finish! 4 across the line, American Affair. Galen from Boiling Point, another thrilling finish here at Goodwood.
And that was yesterday as you joined us at the studio position, Dave Yates and myself. 4 down, 1 to go. Dave, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah, really good, Nick. Had a fantastic week. It's been, I think it's been as good a Qatar Goodwood Festival as I can remember, really. That it's really important that the weather plays its part, isn't it? And it's quite rare to get 5 days of unbroken sunshine, isn't it? You normally get, you know, it might be a game of 2 halves or something, but the weather normally has something to say. This is obviously a racecourse with lots of outdoor space that benefits hugely from good weather. Some racecourses can cope with it better than others. Yeah, it's been a great 4 days so far.
Yeah, it has. Was it this day, I think 3 years ago, where they had to abandon it after the Stewards Cup?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
The weather had been appalling. We saw images of whirlwind in the Nassau in a horrible biblical flag start, I think it was, for that day. So, yeah, you are quite right. I know we have had a prolonged period of now drought. I'm aware of that. But I guess for this particular meeting, it's 5 days which go hand in hand with good weather. It was extremely hot on Wednesday, but all of the action on the track has been quality midsummer fare.
Absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, we can't really take the wider picture, can we? No. About, you know, well, of course we need some rain. 5 days of Goodwood. If we have the choice of a really heavy downpour that helps the water companies and everybody else, we're going to say, can't we leave it until Sunday afternoon? Aren't we, really?
At best overnight.
Yeah. I think that obviously the opening Group 1 of the week, the Goodwood Cup, was spoiled by Amelok, and I think it's very likely that Scandinavia would have won. I think he win by 8.5 lengths in the end, but the timing was crucial to Trawlerman, wasn't it? They were basically just removing their jackets for a scrap, weren't they? When someone moved in and knocked Trawlerman off his stride. So that was disappointing. The Sussex was absolutely brilliant. The contribution that Bo Echo, George Bowie and Billy Lochnan have made to this flat season has been immense, I think. The rivalry with Stade, and again the fact that, you know, in print we often write, you know, the sort of the much anticipated head-to-head failed to materialised when one of them didn't turn up. Well, Stade has finished second in each of those races, the 2,000 guineas, the St James's Palace, and now, of course, the Sussex Stakes. And what a dramatic race that was, with Ryan Moore getting first run, a second or two for Bo Echo to find his full stride, and then gunning his rival down in the final strides. It was a race of real high drama. I love George Bowie's optimism, and it's not pie in the sky optimism. It's based on the data that he sees. You know, he's made real strides in a training career in a relatively very short space of time. And Billy Loughnane, the way that his breezy demeanour. George Bowie was saying, you know, we were all a bit uptight in the paddock beforehand, you know, that this is arguably like the biggest day yet, you know, and Billy just breezes in, and as if he hasn't got like a massively important horse race to ride the favourite in. And he, you know, that sort of thing is infectious, isn't it? It's infectious with all of us when we're uptight, and then someone comes in and it's like, you know, we got this. It's wonderful, and it's great to deal with them. And I thought the comparisons with Frankel are way premature and a bit daft. Although I know that Bo Echo's the first horse since to do that particular treble that we've just talked about. But it's been great. And again, the sort of comparisons of the jockey with Frankie or Lamine Yamal or whoever it might be. You know, I mean, I've had decades of people, of great sportsmen retiring, and then the media trying to find the new Botham, the new. Well, I'm too old for the. I'm young enough for too young for the new George Best. But you know what I mean.
Do you think over in Catalonia, the local press are comparing Lamine Yamal to Billy Loughnane? I wouldn't have thought so. I think it's an unnecessary comparison to make, but I kind of get the point.
The emails I get from Upshot suggest to me that it's probably not necessarily a comparison that the Loughnane family would welcome.
Let's move on to what we had yesterday. And although we had the Group 1s done and dusted, they were in the bag, we still have what we thought would be the Group 1 horse winning his first group race. He still hasn't won one. Talk of New York was beaten in the Thoroughbred Stakes by Cheyenne, who's a very straightforward, good horse, won his listed race, now won a Group 3. But the afterthought and all of the reviews into the race was the performance, the ride, everything that went with Talk of New York. What was your take?
Well, I mean, I think that it was very interesting that Lydia, interviewing William Buick later in the day, said, if you could have that one back again, would you? And he said, yes, I would. Because, of course, he's ridden a 5-2 favourite who has been beaten. But the real problem with Talk of New York, Nick, is that this horse we know that he's got abundant potential. There was the defeat in Meydan after the win at Kempton when, you know, it was probably a bit too much for him. The only defeat subsequent to that, apart from yesterday, was a third to Bo Echo and Stade in the St James's Palace Stakes. But this horse will not realise his potential until he becomes more tractable, will he? You know, the jockey has really he doesn't have an awful lot of choice but to do what he did yesterday. They've obviously put Catullus in there to make the pace and to try and settle, help Talk of New York to settle, and he refuses to do that. He's got the hood on as a pacifier, but I'm sure, you know, like I wasn't spending all day on social media just to see what it made of William Buick's ride.
I think you can imagine,
Yeah, of course you can. But the truth of the matter is that horse won't realise his potential until he takes a chill pill, as they used to say, and just becomes more tractable. Because what he's doing in his races during the early stages is going against him twofold. First of all, he becomes something of a hostage to fortune the way that the race is run, because he has to be settled and he has to be switched off. And so he's, from a tactical perspective, he's not an adaptable horse. He's a one-trick pony. That's the only thing you can really do with him, is restrain him. But of course, the second point of that is that while he's going around like a tearaway, throwing his head around. He is using energy that he needs to conserve for the end of the race. Now, yesterday, which was a step down in class, then of course we expected that even if he did over-race, he would still be okay and that he would get away with it. But the fact is, you know, say that's just how it's going to work for him, and until he does settle down, then he's not going to be a Group 1 winner. You know, we've talked about that race. You've mentioned Cheyem's name once, and I've just mentioned it for the first time. He's probably not as good a horse as Talk of New York, but he's more reliable. He's more tractable. He's much more sort of, for cricket fans of a certain age, he's much more sort of Mike Atherton than David Gower. Do you know what I mean? Like he essentially is. He was a listed winner last time in the Sir Henry Cecil Stakes, and he's going through the he's going through the ranks, and he has the mental capacity to realise his potential, which at the moment Talk of New York doesn't. It
sounds like Cheyem's got engagements potentially across the Atlantic on into the autumn, and they can really look to exploit what is a very versatile, good horse. Let's have a look at the feature race of the day, which was the King George Qatar Stakes, run at 3:35 yesterday. We heard from Ed Arkle, clerk of the course, earlier. He's very happy that there's no bias, and you'd see as well, as we take the overhead shot, American Affair blasted from 9, Rumstar second out of 3, Time for Sandals ran a cracker out of 4, Asphora out of 6. They were spread right across it. JM Jungle was out of 14. Look, a Group 1 winner in a Group 2 race, right back to form.
Yeah, and what an advertisement this is for the skills of the Jim Goldie training setup, isn't it? Remember, wind the clock back to June 2025. This horse has completed his ascent from handicaps to win a Group 1. They've got possibly the Nunthorpe and certainly the Breeders' Cup as possible targets on the back of that. Then they announced that he's injured. It's not a serious injury, but it will rule him out for the rest of the season. Thus far this year, he was without a win. I think they described the defence of his crown in the King Charles III Stakes as a disaster, and he's back to form here. A better run at York last time out, and it's great to see a horse whose potential and whose career was sort of cut short in its prime. It's great to see him come back and win a Group 2 race, and now, of course, those targets that he missed last year, i.e. the Nunthorpe and I think the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, isn't it, are back on the agenda. But obviously, a word too for horses 2, 3 and 4 in this race.
Yeah, it sounds as though, as you said, the Nunthorpe, for which he is the 3rd favourite, the shortest price British horse, I think, or just about. Older horse anyway, because Pashada's there, but Batsio's favourite, Rayevka second in. Quick word from a news line as well on Asphora.
Yeah.
That was great, wasn't it? Because it was, I guess it was win or bust. That was the idea, that she would be going to the covering shed, if not going into quarantine at the start of September. But given how well she run, and effectively she's leading the piece well into the last half furlong, it makes you think whether York, where she's won before, is still on the agenda.
Yeah, I think it will be. Henry Dwyer said yesterday that she's not his horse, and he would talk to the owner about going to York. But, I mean, I thought they would roll the dice, wouldn't they, and just put quarantine off for another month or so. You know, if she could win a second Nunthorpe, that would be an amazing achievement. And, of course, commercially, it's worth taking the chance, isn't it? That Henry Dwyer was saying, you know, we need to discover that she still wants to do it, and sometimes it looks as though she does, sometimes it doesn't. But she certainly did yesterday. Cracking run from dear old Rumstar. I tipped him, and I thought this might, despite it being a sharp 5 furlongs, they might just go quick enough to bring him into it in the end, which they did, but pesky American Affair came down the stand side. But yeah, it'd be lovely to see Asphora again. I really hope that Rumstar's campers, I'm sure they will. Jonathan Portman said to Lydia, we will keep trying for a Group 2 a Group 1, and I really hope with all my heart that one day they get there. That would be an absolutely wonderful story.
Crowds are starting to come in as well for the 5th and final day. It's Saturday. For many, I'm sure, the day that they would come racing for the week. That has been the scene really throughout. I know it was extremely hot, scorching on Wednesday, but no finer sight in world racing, I think, for many people. I know Mark Johnson, former trainer, he said, even though, well, he trained some hundreds of miles away from here, said that if you were to bring a prospective new owner to anywhere to showcase British racing, it'd be here. And on a day like this, that's exactly that. What are they looking forward to today on Stewards Cup Day?
Well, I mean, I suppose in terms that there's a really strong support card. The Lillie Langtry, I think, is particularly interesting with the first and second from last year, Wada and Danielle. But you know, this is Stewards Cup Day, isn't it? And once again, we've got an absolute head scratcher of a 6 furlong handicap. You know, the Far Above Dream has been favourite for so long. Spoiler alert, you know, I'm required to at the Mirror to call with a couple of selections first thing on Friday morning. So my desk said, right, if you can just give us a Stewards Cup winner selection, and then we'll go on from there. And so I said, yeah, Sondad at 12s, I'll do it. And then just like had 10 hours of typing away, switched my machine off at 7:30, just checked an odds comparison site before I did, and saw that Sondad was about 9-2, 5-1. But we will see. It's a really fascinating race with some real informed sprinters, and the Spencer Cunningham axis could well have something else to say about it, couldn't they? They're an amazing. They're an amazing crew in sprint handicaps, obviously on the board already at Goodwood this week.
And James Owen, as we've ticked on into the first day of a new month, it's now August. He celebrated 27 winners, I think, in July across both different codes. So he's going to be looking to take out one of the big sprint prizes, big handicap prizes of the British flat season. Plenty more from Dave and myself throughout the course of this morning as we head on into the early part of the afternoon, last day of the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Let's get to the studio now, though, and wish a big hello to Angus McNay this Stewards Cup Day.
Nick, Dave, thank you very much indeed. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Racing TV studios for the final day of the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Lots to enjoy throughout the afternoon, and we've got a packed full SP preview programme for you here in the company of Steve Mellish. How are you, Steve?
I'm very well, thank you, Angus. Very well indeed. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm in good form. Have you enjoyed the week?
I think it's been great, yeah. I think there's been some star performances, and more than any other track in the country, Goodwood is in need of decent weather. They haven't had the best luck in recent years. They've had it this year, and it's been, you know, magnificent.
Of the 3 headline acts, Scandinavia, Bow Echo, Diamond Necklace, which impressed you most?
They all impressed me a lot. I'll admit I was very impressed by the filly.
Yes.
I think that's good for, I think, Friendly Soul, I think, was a slightly unlucky loser at Ascot. I think she's a good, genuine Group 1 filly in her own right. And I think Diamond Necklace has treated her, not with contempt, but brushed her aside. But I think I can't get out of my head how well Scandinavia won the Goodwood Cup. Yeah. Just thought he looked an absolute tool, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, proper horse, and he's only 4, getting better, definitely. I think he might need fastest ground to be his absolute best. But gosh, he was good, and I didn't think the hampering made a blind bit of difference.
No, I didn't think so either. Amilok, of course, on seating, and then hampering Chorleyman. I thought Chorleyman was beating a retreat, just about to beat a retreat. I mean, I looked at the sectional, Steve. The last 5 furlongs, Scandinavia through each individual furlong was faster than Chorleyman. He was on a roll when Chorleyman got hampered.
As how it looked, and you backed it up with the figures, so I agree with you entirely.
Yeah. One of the more controversial points came in the opening race of the meeting, in which Infrared, you'll remember, beat Harteen. Infrared was the 2-1 favourite for Tom Muckand and William Haggis. Harteen was Oisin Murphy and Andrew Balding, and in the end, there was a head between them in what was a Class 2 handicap over 1.5 miles. The winner, Infrared, stepping up in trip. This is their head-on, Steve. They came close together, and the stewards had a good long look at this. They allowed the result to stand. What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with them. I think it's one of those decisions that you have different sets of stewards at different tracks. There are, you know, if you had 10 different courses where the incident took place, I think two of the tracks, maybe 3 of the tracks, you might have got a turning round. Personally, I thought the horse won on merit. I think the form incident is really quite strong. I think these are 2 very much improving 3-year-olds, and the third's a pretty good horse of Joseph O'Brien. I think this is really solid form. But that's by the by to the stewards' inquiry. They were right to look. I mean, undoubtedly, Infrared has moved across and, if not bumped, has got very close to the runner-up. And, you know, when you see it from behind and you can think, well, they're right to have a look. Few things, really. I wouldn't involve jockeys in it. But I think it was really significant, actually, when we did hear it, what Oisin Murphy had to say.
Yeah, OK, let's have a listen to that and then we'll get Steve's thoughts once we've heard Oisin and Murphy in the Stewards' Inquiry.
Yeah, I followed Tom and I came with a run down his outside and we're kind of racing up the centre of the track. I actually headed Mr. Markland before the furlong goal and I felt his horse fall back.
Can you just talk us through your running line and where you are and where you end up, and just talk us through that aspect of it?
Yeah, they're both kind of getting away from the field. My horse, in fairness to him, he's kind of running straight. Tom's horse is a bit more babyish. Tom's horse leans outwards under pressure. We never made contact, sir. You know, I didn't notice a shift until quite close to the line. And yeah, maybe I would have won if Tom stayed straight, but I can't with any certainty say that I'd have won if Tom's horse didn't shift outwards.
In terms of where your line is now, as you're racing towards that half furlong market to where you end up, how far?
Well, we're probably 5 or 6 horse widths out, and we lean outwards. I think if you focus on the top left camera angle, it maybe looks more severe, just because the camera's obviously stationed in the corner and we're running towards it. Let's just watch the bottom left, maybe.
With the view from behind?
Yeah, we're watching it here, it's fine, it's on the bottom left. It's a gradual shift, but I felt Tom did everything he could to keep him straight, and like as I've already alluded to, my horse did head Mr. Markland's horse, and his horse fought back.
So that's what Oisin Murphy had to say in the Stewards' Inquiry. He was very much conducting proceedings there, wasn't he?
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he was commendably honest. You know, he didn't come on and say,
yes.
You know, he could have made more of a meal of it about either balance or something. Sure, there'd be some jockeys who would. He got a bit of flack for it, I understand, afterwards on social media, which I don't do, but I suspect that's people talking through their pockets, because I can't, you know, some guy's been there and actually telling the truth. I think he's probably something to be applauded rather than be condemned. So I think they made the right decision. He never stopped riding. I think the right horse won. I wouldn't have jockeys involved in Stewards' Inquiry. You've got all the angles there themselves. I think the stewards should only call in jockeys when it comes to suspensions and things like that. They should make up their own mind. But he certainly helped the cause of the winner keeping the race. And I do think it was the right call. But if you had 10 Stewards' Inquiries on the same day in 10 different tracks, I suspect in 2 or 3 of them they would have turned it around. So that's inconsistency when you're dealing with human beings.
Do you think the way the Americans do it would be a better way of doing it? They call an inquiry, jockey jumps off the horse, goes to a phone, he has a quick word with the stewards, and that's it. A quick line.
That's probably better. I honestly don't see the point of it at all, really. I mean,
I get that.
That's sort of proving me wrong, because he did help the course of the winner. But generally speaking, you've got all the angles. I don't see why you need to hear what they've got to say.
Yeah, you've got, as a steward, you've got to make the decision.
I think so.
You can see all the angles. You can see exactly what's happened. You don't need any spin put on that, do you?
In a perfect world, you'd have one set of stewards in London making all the decisions, then you get consistency. But given that's not going to happen, you've got to accept there's going to be some stewards who would find differently. We're dealing with human beings. People make different decisions.
Yeah, indeed. So that was the Stewards' Inquiry. Infrared keeping the race on the opening day of the meeting, beating Harteen. Steve, we will look at some of the races on today's card in a little bit more detail. But very quickly, what are you looking forward to today?
Oh, loads. I mean, I think it's a really good balance. I'm looking forward to the Stewards Cup. It's a great sight.
Yeah.
I remember years ago seeing Sober win there, and he seemed to come over the hill about 10 seconds before anything else.
Nichols.
Sorry?
Andy Nichols.
Andy Nichols. So yeah. So that's good. But I think the first race is a really good mile 3/4 handicap. We've got a couple of group races. I think it's a really good balanced card. So I'm looking forward to it all, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the opening contest. I think that's an excellent race. There will be plenty of previews in this programme for you, but for now, here are some of the horses you can enjoy watching this afternoon.
Valedictory by a nose, Valedictory! Valedictory for back-to-back wins. Going to win it again, and he's going to win it pretty comfortably, drawing away. Alazi for Shadwell, William Haggis, Jim Crowley. It's Warder on near side. Danielle is nothing if not game. Trying all the way, but Warder is just too strong. On the stand side, Two Tribes has come through to lead the way. Two Tribes wins. Follows up the Ascot win. Stripe Red probably just second. And now racing inside the final half furlong, a matter of how far will be the winning distance. A double for Sheen Murphy. We're Gooses, much the best.
Keep kicking on and charging course. It's down to this pair, Bosch and Lamb, to charging course.
Blue Courvoisier in front with only 100 yards left to cover. Nicely clear, but it's Blue Courvoisier who wins the Betway Silver Bowl.
We've got a fabulous afternoon of action from Goodwood today. The going described as good to firm. I think that was a pretty fair description yesterday, maybe a little bit quicker than that, looking at the times. And we start with the Highclere Castle Gin Summer Handicap. Is over 1 3/4 miles. We've got the Coral Glorious Stakes, Group 3, over 1.5 miles. Lillie Langtry Stakes, filly to mare, Group 2, over 1 3/4 miles. And that comes up at 3 o'clock. Then the Stewards Cup, the big handicap, over 6 furlongs at 3:35. And then we'll go 7 furlongs for a couple of contests after that. One is a handicap, one is a maiden. And finally, the whole meeting concludes with a 9 furlong handicap at 5:20. These are the non-runners that we've got so far today. Any more, we'll let you know. 1:50, 11, Too Soon, 3 o'clock, 5, Little Dorrit. 3:35, number 22, Candy. 4:45, number 1, Al Wathbar, and 5:20, number 2, Alpha Crucis. That will probably be because of the ground as far as that horse is concerned. But those are the absentees, 5 of them at the moment. So the Stewards Cup, the big race of the afternoon. 6 furlongs up the straight course at Goodwood, and that's what we're going to look at now. Well, let's give this race some context by having a look at the last 10 winners. Dancing Star in 2016. Oh, I remember Lancelot Dulac, Frankie Dettori for Dean Ivory. Gifted Master Cardem, Charlie Hills and Jim Crowley. Summergand, Danny Tudhope and David O'Mara. Then Michael Dodds won it 2 years on the bounce with Comanche Falls, 2021 and 2022. And Aberama Gold took it for David O'Mara in 2023. Get It for George Baker in 2024. And then Two Tribes last year, back again to try and repeat the trick, David Egan and Richard Spencer. Those are the last 10 winners then of the Coral Stewards Cup. This is how they bet this time around. It's 11-2, Far Above Dreams. Sondad 6-1, Two Tribes is 15-2. It's 8-1, Soldier's Tree. Dark 30s, 11s, 11s Evening Shadow, Saigon rather, and Tuco Salamanca 12s, 14s and bigger. The rest, the non-runner is number 22, 27 go. Far Above Dream is favourite. The two at the top of the market, both drawn high, stalls 23 and 21. 11-2 the field for the Coral Stewards Cup. So it makes for fascinating analysis. This, Dave and Nick are going to preview it for you now.
Angus, thank you very much indeed. Very much looking forward to the race, to previewing it as well. Angus mentioning the draw and how there was a real rush at the live televised draw to get the first horses drawn out into the higher slots. But before we begin and talk about this race, you just wanted to back ref what Steve was saying in the studio.
I just thought that Steve was absolutely right. I've thought for so long that, you know, interviewing jockeys in stewards' inquiries is just completely pointless. In fact, if anything, it makes a just result less likely than more likely. They've got the videos, they've got cameras absolutely everywhere. I just don't see the point in speaking to the jockeys, and I think Steve's absolutely bang on.
Okay, that's very much an agreement there from Dave. Let's have a look at last year's winner in this particular race, Two Tribes. It was a red letter afternoon, as it was on a couple of occasions in big sprint handicaps for the Spencer Cunningham team. We bring in a few of these. Get It, a previous winner, also looking to emulate Comanche Falls. He's coming off a huge absence. There are others involved, but we'll focus on Two Tribes, who is doing something very similar to this day last year. Of course, won the International at Ascot going into this, completed a great double, and ran a very good race in defence of his crown the other day.
Yeah, that's right. We just saw on our caption there that Comanche Falls was the most recent horse to win the Stewards Cup twice, and Two Tribes has got an excellent chance here, Nick, hasn't he? As you say, he's followed very much a similar pattern to last year. He won the 7 furlong Moet and Chandon at Ascot on the King George undercard 12 months ago. This time he finished second to a really progressive horse with some Ascot experience in Amazing Journey, and I don't see any reason why he won't go well again here. He's versatile as regards ground. He's drawn in stall 13 today, and as we've mentioned, a few of the leading fancies tend to be more stand side. He's £9 higher than when he won this race 12 months ago, but he's earned that rise in the weights, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Go on.
And, you know, the late Dandy Nichols just got a mention on the programme, and Richard Spencer is very much sort of taking that mantle, isn't he, as the sprint handicap king. Obviously, Run Boy Run, the Air Gold Cup, you know, those we're really used to seeing the colours of Phil Cunningham in those races. They're a brilliant target outfit, and again, you know, as I say, he must go well surely. For all that, would they swap stall 13 for a higher one now? They probably would do, I would speculate, but apart from that, there are ticks in every box.
Just to cover a couple of the others in there, Get It also looks to win it for a second time. He hasn't been seen in ages, and he's got the stall adjacent now to the one that he won in 2 years ago, so that you'd imagine a similar jump and run style down the near side. Complete unknown as well. That horse is fascinating off the back of his second in the Wokingham.
Yes, indeed. With Get It, I'll be really annoyed if he wins.
Go on.
And not because I don't like George Baker or the connections, because I do, but because I sort of like bottled out a tipping Get It. Just that 314-day absence and the intervention of injury. It's going to make that very, very tricky for Get It, isn't it, to win an absolutely white-hot sprint handicap like the Stewards Cup. But there are two things I suspect that we know with Get It. The high draw, I don't think, is a disadvantage, and rattling quick ground. That horse, when you're, as Angus said, if the ground does tighten up to the fast side of good to firm, then of all those runners in the Wokingham, there's one horse for whom it is absolutely tailor-made, and that's Get It.
A complete unknown is actually completely random, so I've mixed two horses there, but the comments still stay the same. Cracking run in the Wokingham. The trainer's father won this race 3 times in a decade. Harmonic Way, Patavellian, Genki in the Fog. So Beckhampton looking to pick up a prize they know well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and with races like this, you know, we'll go through a couple of the others, but, you know, really, what can you do but come up with, say, half a dozen plausible names?
Fine.
And completely random is certainly one of those.
It's quite an apt one, really, isn't it? Considering the way the result might go. We'll see. Far Above Dream would be one that is lightly on the short list of plenty and has been for some time. This is a horse that loves this track, to say the least.
Yeah, what is he? 3 from 3 here, isn't he? Couple of wins last back end and this one in May when he beats Evening Saigon. Evening Saigon is drawn 10 today. Far Above Dream is 23. Now, James Owen said that after this horse won at Newbury, they had little option but to go for the Wokingham. and Far Above Dream finished 4th that day. Now, for most horses that finish 4th in a Wokium, you would tend to think they don't need an excuse, wouldn't you? But James Owen said, yeah, he finished 4th, but I knew he wouldn't like the track, and he didn't. So, you know, he's factoring in further improvement, which he will need to do. But what he's got in Far Above Dream is a horse who, like many that come to him, this one came from Dennis Hogan, is following an upward curve, and you know, again, he's got to be a massive player here. And not every horse likes Goodwood, but we've seen in the likes of Nana's Shadow this week, a horse who had won at Epsom, and you thought, right, well, when she rolls down Goodwood, it's going to be perfect. It doesn't suit everybody, but Far Above Dream is 3 from 3 here, and it most certainly suits him. Before we move on, I think it would be apt to wrap up James Owen's extremely formidable squad, or duo, with Far Above Dream stablemate Soldier's Tree, who would be looking to become, I think, the biggest weight carrier, or the biggest weight carrying performance since Who Fit 15 years ago. That horse went on to run in the Sprint Cup, understandably. This horse has got a Sprint Cup entry. I think he's a massive talent. Yeah, and he's a player here as well, isn't he? I think he is. The fact that he's finished 3rd all 3 starts, but 2 of those were outside of handicaps, one behind Almarak in the Cathedral Stakes at Salisbury, the most recent in the Hackwood Stakes at Newbury, behind Symbol of Honour, and in between is that 3rd in the Wokium. So, yeah, I mean, anyone who's conducted interviews with James Owen this week about Far Above Dream, he's been apt to stress, don't rule out, I keep calling him Soldier's Tail, don't rule out Soldier's Tree. He's very much a player in this race as well. So 27 winners in the month of July. He'll be looking to rattle them in the first day of August as well, James Owen. Sondad, who part trained by Hoofit's trainer Mick Easterby, absolutely thriving of late. This is your selection of the race, the case is? Well, I mean, I think, you know, he makes the case himself, doesn't he, Nick? He's got a stack of really progressive efforts in sprint handicaps, and he's proving better than ever this summer. There was the victory on rain-softened ground in the 6 furlong handicap at the Derby meeting. Yep. We can put a line through his run in the Wokium, because was he drawn 2 there? He certainly was drawn out of it. And then, of course, he comes back to a not dissimilar type of race here. Is this on the Irish Oaks undercard? Yep. And he beats old rival Dark 30 here. There's half a length between them. Now, on the weights and measures, Sondad has got a penalty, and of course Dark 30 hasn't got one. So on the strict weights and measures, it's Dark 30, who I think is probably the best handicapped horse in this race on official figures. But Sondad's just got that most amazing way of doing things, hasn't he? He really is as tough as nails, this horse. You can almost see, I don't like it when people anthropomorphise, if that's a word. It's the hardest word, but fair play. I think you've got a good job of that. You can almost see the cogs whirring in his head there, can't you? Yeah. Like the last 6 strides, he's just going, no, you don't, and he gets up and he wins. So, yeah, it was plain old Mick Easterby, wasn't it, in 2011? It was with Hoofit, and now, of course, David's been on the licence for quite some time, and you know, again, a high draw here, which going into it we think is probably an advantage. I can't see any way that Sondad doesn't run a good race, and for all that he's a lot shorter in the betting than he was maybe this time yesterday, I think he's got loads going for him. You'll see in the bottom corner of the screen, that is the QR code you can scan for the full SP Challenge this Saturday, and it's an opportunity to win what would be an incredible prize were you to do it, considering the fact that you've got to pick the first 4 home in the Stewards Cup in any order. I mean, it's a little easier, but fair play if you can manage to do that.
if I were to play it, which I'm not, I would put Stratus 9 in there for Hugo Palmer, who won this race with a good horse a few years ago, Gifted Master. Off the back of York last time, I think it's fair to say he is on the verge of being a very, very good sprinter now.
Yeah, well, they certainly seem to think that he's a group horse, Nick, don't they?
I think he is, yeah.
Again, he's got the £6 penalty as a result of this. It's a game effort. We'll see in the end that he beats Cool Angel by half a length here. As you said, they won this with Gifted Master. It was an amazing day, that, wasn't he? I think he drifted from 10s to 20s. That was a pretty nascent chapter in Jason Watson's career as well, I think. But yeah, to get back to Stratus 9, is it a disadvantage that he's going to race from stall 5 here? I think it could be, but again, you know, we've seen time and time again that it's an unwise thing to do to try and build your house on the draw in most sprint handicaps. Not all. We know there are some places where you're going to be drawn out of it. But personally, again, would they have chosen stall 5? Well, obviously they did choose stall 5 because that's the way that the draw ceremony works these days. But you know what I mean.
I do.
If they could swap it, would they? I suspect they probably would.
I feel like, as we wrap this up, off the back of yesterday, speaking to Ed Arkle, as Rachel did earlier, whatever you've backed in this race, I feel like you can go in with a hope, regardless, and not think I'm completely drawn out of it, because I don't believe that you will be, certainly on what we've seen thus far. I guess all that's left is to draw up the shortlist. I'll give you my 2, which are Stratus 9, who we've just seen winning last weekend, and the top weight, Soldier's Tree, who I think is a top-class sprinter in the making. He's got a Group 1 entry, and I think that's a statement of intent.
Yeah. Let's put in, then, OK, Sondad. Oh, I've got to put 2 tribes in. We'll put in Ferris. We've not shown him. He was just edged out in the Scottish Stewards Cup at Hamilton last time. He's 1 from 1 at Goodwood. So I'll put those 3 in. I can't see that that Sondad won't run a really big one. I know he's towards the head of the market here, but let's see how he gets on. Lots of favourites are won this week. There's no reason
just
why
a bit.
He couldn't be
I
another.
think we're at 16, 17.
Yeah, it's loads, yeah.
That is a lot. OK, let's see what the guys think back in the studio. Angus.
Nick, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, you've covered a lot of ground there. But Steve wants to have a look at one interesting horse in this race, Realign, who's trained by William Haggis. And Steve, let's go back to Carlisle when he won. This is a couple of starts ago. He's disappointed at Ascot since this, but this was a tremendous performance. He beat Regency, Bias and Wild Clary. He won decisively by a length and a quarter. And for a while, he travelled all over them, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what he is. I think eventually, his best trip might be about 5.5 furlongs, personally. I know Carlisle is a stiffy track. He just outclassed them this day, but he's led on bit. You don't often see that in sprints. It's a really good time to back it up as well. And they had to go for the Wokingham. Of course you do. It's the big sprint at the Royal Meeting and the owners and everything else. It's very important. But I do think Ascot would be too far. He was one of 14 horses in this race who ran it in the Wokingham. I think Goodwood, which is the standard time at Goodwood, is 3 seconds faster than the standard time at Ascot. I think that will play more to his strengths. And I do think he's I think he's competitively treated. It's a wide open race, but he was 20-1 plus this morning, and I could just see him running. I think the track will really suit him. Yeah, I take your point about up the hill there at Carlisle. He looked like he was going to go away and win 5 lengths. Yeah. And they were just closing him down late on. It's probably just that stiff 6 there was probably just stiff enough. In the day where the Portland was worth a lot of money, you'd have been, in my mind, the ideal horse for a race like that. And that's not the race it used to be. And certainly of the big 6 furlong sprints, Goodwood, I think, will play more to his strengths than Ascot does anyway. Yeah. Is there anything else in the race that you I had a short list like everyone else does? I think Far Above Dream and Evening Saigon, who dominated a race here, must run well. So that'd be 2 of them. James Doyle's chosen Evening Saigon over Realign, and I think 2 tries must run well. So my 4 against the field will be 2 tries: Far Above Dream, Realign, Evening Saigon. So knock them out when you're doing your bet, and you'll be halfway there. Combination tricast, Steve? Something like that, Angus. Yeah.
I think you should put...
I'll double your bet, whatever you
should put
do.
Soldier's Tree in there, I think.
Yeah. James Owen might have both of them run well, yeah, very possible.
Massively improved since he's been James Owen, hasn't he?
And they're claiming 5 off him today, which they didn't last time, which I think is interesting.
But if you just look at his CV, trained in Ireland, won a maiden at Dundalk in January.
Yeah.
And now become a horse who's rated 108 in the space of, what, 4 starts for James Owen?
Absolutely.
Including a third in the Wokingham, including a third in the Group 3 Hackwood last time at Newbury.
Yeah.
He's made massive strides.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, that's true.
And there could be a bit more to come
from
him. When I got in the car this morning, Steve, I turned on the radio. The first song that was playing was Frankie Goes to Hollywood when 2 Tribes Go to War. I thought that might be a bit of a tip.
Got to back it.
It's up there with that when you're driving to the racecourse and you see the horse box, isn't it? You think, oh, that's Mark Johnson's, Charlie Johnson's horse box.
But if you ever worked it out, you probably would have lost more than you've won doing that.
I'm not going to back 2 Tribes.
Well, you might regret it.
I might regret it because did win well last year, didn't it?
I don't know if there's any other songs running today, so...
No, I can't, no.
You know, Get It, maybe, don't know. No. Sounds like it should be.
I'll stick with Soldier's Tree. Do you want to try and win a Racing TV merchandise bundle? Well, you've got a chance today. This is the full SP challenge that you should get involved in. Why not? You've got to select the first 4 home in any order. Steve's given you a real big clue about that in this Stewards Cup at 3:35. Just the first 4 in any order. Scan that QR code to get involved now, or you can go to the Racing TV website and enter that way. Have a crack. There's lots of goodies out there to be won, courtesy of us here at Racing TV. That's the full SP challenge.
Full SP Preview, proudly sponsored by Typeform.
We're into the final bend of the Coral Fan Derby, where racing lovers of the UK are in a spectacular contest. And what's this? He's shaking his phone like it's a pocket-sized maraca. They're all getting rewards now. He's shaking it, she's shaking it, they're all shaking it. Play the free Coral Reward Shaker to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
Full SP Preview, proudly sponsored by Typeform.
Well, I have never been invited to a posher picnic, that is for sure. Kelly Stevenson joins us from Whispering Angel. And Neil, are you OK down there?
Do you know what? I just need to let everybody know, I didn't know what picnic actually meant. I've never been to a picnic before. I didn't expect to be sitting on this blanket either. You know.
Been to a picnic, Neil?
No, I've never had to look up in Wikipedia. I didn't know what to expect.
Well, this is the poshest picnic I've ever been to as well.
It's great to see you. Brilliant week so far.
Oh, fantastic to be back here at Goodwood. We're so proud of our partnership, and it's even more special this year because we're celebrating our 20th vintage at Chateau d'Esclans Whispering Angel. We've got this specially designed bottle label and everything, so showing it off at the best festival of the year has been really special this week.
And also, you've actually got a fantastic vintage, haven't you, with 2025? It was a great year for Rosé.
25, yeah, perfect weather conditions.
Yeah.
Everything happened, the rain and the sunlight hours sunshine all happened at the same time. So,
great. Oh, wow. Looking forward to tasting.
You want to have a taste?
Yeah.
Shall I not leave you in suspense
Well,
anyway?
I must admit,
we feel like you're leaving us hanging.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get a chair out of this deal.
I never like to leave people hanging. So this is our Whispering Angel 2025 vintage. And for anyone that hasn't tried Whispering Angel, we've got a wonderful bar here. You can go and have a taste here at Goodwood. But it's everything that rosé conjures up when you think about a summer rosé from Provence. We're pale, dry, everything's about the fruit flavours. So strawberry, raspberry, a bit of pomegranate, rose petal, everything sort of voluptuous red fruit flavours, and a nice balanced creaminess to the body, which is from the acidity and the grapes that we use in the blend. It's a really versatile food.
You make it sound so delicious before we've even tasted it. I mean, all of those
I'm going in.
See what you think of that. Do you get that creaminess that's holding up all those bright berries,
It's lovely, actually. You get the creaminess. I love the acidity as well, because it just gives that real crispness to it as well. 25 is such a great year.
And in this lovely sunshine and having a picnic, what that acidity is doing is it's giving you that kind of want for more in the cheeks of your mouth, and you want to go in for that second sip.
I love that.
Mouth-watering.
Neil gets that a lot.
Yeah, I get that a lot, actually. Do you know what? I'm going to come to more picnics.
Yeah, you'll be lying down in a minute if we keep drinking this.
That'll be me for the day, you know.
Can I ask you, obviously we can't have a Magnum at every picnic now. I want to have a Magnum at every picnic. Does it taste different out of the Magnum?
No, it doesn't taste different, but it has an ability to age a bit more effectively in Magnum, so it will essentially last a bit longer. But quite frankly, Whispering Angel Rosé, there's another wine we're going to talk about in a minute, and I'll change what I say about that. But with Whispering Angel, if you've got a bottle open, you don't want it open for long. You want to enjoy it straight down.
It's so good, Kelly. It will never be open for too long. You're going in, are you, without us?
Well, I'm going in without you, yes. I just sort of thought, well, Kelly, one of the things is about the pairing of the food with wine here, and I just thought I've got to try this chalk stream trout. I'm going in.
So what has he got there? It looks gorgeous.
I mean, this picnic, no soggy sausage rolls. We've got this beautiful chalk stream trout with this lovely little fish design, coriander tuile, and lobster and crab pearls. So all of those really distinct flavours and quite separate flavours all coming together is a bit like the grapes that we make the wine with. We've got different grape varieties all coming together in a blend, and because of that red berry sort of sharpness and the acidity and the creaminess, the wine pairs really well with, even though there's some quite strong, you tell us, Neil, are there quite strong flavours? Are they kind of pairing nicely with the wine?
I'm just having a wonderful time. That's what I'm doing. No, but
Neil is always having a wonderful time. Let's be honest.
I mean, it is. You've got the strong flavours, but it's great because actually, still what you get is the fruit character coming right across the top there, and the acidity. Again, I keep banging on about acidity, but that's what you're going to have. That is absolutely gorgeous.
The mouth-watering sensation often makes you a bit hungry as well. So it's lovely when you've got a wine that can be quite versatile. And when I talk about versatility, at a picnic like this with all of these wonderful flavours, cold foods, hot foods, we really can pair well with rosé. But today we've got such different dishes in our outside picnic that it's going to be really interesting. I think try the caramelised onion, and this has got a lovely Comté mousse. Go on, you try it again. I think it's all about you today, Neil.
Rachel's looking a bit miffed, really. It's a bit like, what's happening here?
They said they were coming. Well, they're taking me to a picnic today, and I said, oh, I haven't had breakfast. I'll have something at the picnic. But I think Neil is going to be taking my portion.
Do you want me to hold your glass?
Yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Go on, you go for it, Rachel. Oh, here we go. Let's pass it over. Come on. Oh, you're going to go the trout for? Oh, you're going to go for the trout. Okay, you go for that. There we go. I've got to say, one of the things to me, just while we're on it, trout is great.
or anything.
Oh, there's a napkin. Hold on.
I know.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's a picnic.
It's a picnic. There we go.
Neil, you got to up your picnic game.
Yeah, I've got my. Well, I've never been to one before. I'm just learning straight away. Going, oh, she's gone in now. I love chalk stream trout. I think it's great. Absolutely great.
Well, it's one of the sort of signature pairings of Whispering Angel and some of our other wines, because we do actually at Chateau d'Esclans, which is our lovely chateau in the heart of Provence, we make a few rosés, but they're all this pale, dry style. What happens is they get more complex as we go through the wines, and that's what we'll try in a moment. Which actually, let's just try quickly the caramelised onion with the Whispering Angel.
Okay.
And then what might be nice is if we get the Garous.
And we do that.
And we try them again.
We feel it will take.
I mean, I hope and think they'll be perfect pairings, but just different. Different in character.
Here we go, indeed. Now,
you can use that clean fork.
This is a bit of a procedure at a
picnic. As I said, I've never been.
I
tell you what, Kelly, let's get the Garous out as well for you.
I think we should.
Yeah,
I think we should. Pass it up, and I'll
let me do
pour us some Garous. So just while Neil's grabbing the bottle, so this is our flagship estate wine, and this at our 20th vintage. This is a very special wine, and this is actually, we haven't released the 2025 vintage yet, but it's coming. This is the 24, because this actually gets aged in a barrel for 11 months. And 20 years ago, when we started, you wouldn't really have thought of aged rosé. You think of aged white Burgundy and Rioja and Red Bordeaux, but aged rosé wasn't really a thing. And this was really the vision of our founder, Sacha Lachine, to put rosé on the wine list of the best places in the world, just like at Goodwood. So I'm desperate for you to try it.
So am I.
So what
yeah, no, go bring it on. Bring it on. It's great.
What does oak do to a wine, Neil? You all know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the great thing about oak is you can add, when you've got lots of complexity, oak can really add to that complexity, can't it? And also, it's just getting the balance right where you get those sort of oaky flavours, but not overpowering, and the balance with the fruit as well.
Thank you.
And you've done that so well here, haven't you? Because you're trying to not make it overpowering at all. And this is a good example when oak just works so well, isn't it?
Exactly. So the very zesty red berries of Whispering Angel in our garus start to become a bit rounder, sort of stone fruity apricot and a little bit nectarine skin, so a bit more mellowed. But because of the oak, you get flavours of oak as well. So just like you said, so we've got a bit of vanilla and buttery toast.
You get the fruit
nutmeg.
First, don't you?
You get the fruit first, and that's really important because the freshness, just because you have oak, the oak is there to keep the freshness. It's just because the reason why we make this in oak and why we make Whispering Angel very fresh in a stainless steel tank, the difference is quite vast because the berries for this, the fruit, the grapes that grow on the vines are over 100 years old, which is
very, very old in vines.
And it's very rare for Provence to have Grenache. That's our hero grape variety.
Yeah. This is delicious. I absolutely love it.
It's different,
we are running out of time. I mean, we're not going to be leaving this picnic anytime soon, may I add. But can I also... Sorry, Neil, can you take my glass, please?
Oh, yes, see if you've got time to just try a little bite with the garus now.
Okay.
Compared with Whispering Angel. Hopefully, it still works, but just has a very different feel.
Because it's actually just very interesting, the contrast there, actually, I have to say.
Where am I going now?
You're going to have... There we go, you try your garus there. And also, one of the things is as well, you have, again, Rachel, you're going to get quite a different style here. I don't know what, did that, I'll tell you what's quite interesting. Oh, you're enjoying yourself there.
I love this.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely delicious. But there is no picnic without strawberries.
Strawberries will go with any rosé because they're just so delicious.
Thank you.
You go in there. Oh, thank you. Oh, do it again, do it again.
Quick. Oh, no, you got the green bit.
Kelly, lovely to catch up with you. Back to you, Angus, for the Glorious Stakes.
Yes, indeed, the Glorious Stakes here are the last 10 winners of this Group 3 contest. And in the past 10 runnings, William Haggas has won 4 of them. He's got opportunity today, most notably. And Al Arsi is in the race again. He's won it for the last couple of years, 24 and 25. And William Haggas looking to win it for the 4th year on the trots. Lots of good horses have won this race, the likes of Rebels or Romance in the past, and Poet's Word and King's Fate when Sir Michael Satt was training. Mirage Dancer also was a really good horse. So it's got an illustrious roll of honour, this race. Let's have a look at the betting this time around and see that Opportunity is favourite at 9-4. Al Arsi's 3-1, 7-2 in my teams. And then you've got Emph Jar at 7-1, Ghostwriter the same. 16's King's Gambit Involvement, 40s and 60, 6-1. Midak is the outsider. Opportunity won at Carlisle and then went on to win at Royal Ascot, and he won in the style of a group horse in a handicap. He's now officially rated 110. He won off 100 under a brilliant ride from James McDonald at Ascot. This is a step up, but he ought to take it in his stride, I'd have thought, Nick.
Well, he's the really exciting mix, Angus. Thank you very much indeed. The big threat to Al Arsi from within the own barn. We were just reflecting very quickly with Adam Waterworth, the boss here, on a very good week. I'm sure he and the team are going to be quite tired by the end of it, but the sun shone and they're very happy indeed. And by the time we get to the Glorious Stakes, it's an opportunity, no pun intended, for a real threat to Al Arsi, and he knows him from home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird that the main threat to Al Arsi's hat-trick bid should come from Opportunity, but you know, you can see why he's taken over from his stable companion at the head of the betting, can't you? He's on official figures. He's only got £4 to find. He was a strong staying winner of the Duke of Edinburgh. I thought that I was disappointed with Warrant Holder in the John Smith Cup, because I thought he'd committed and then he was maybe paddling a bit, and Opportunity was the stronger stayer. This obviously presents a very different type of test rhythmically, doesn't it? And we know it's a test that suits Al-Azi down to the ground. He loves nothing like than dibbly-dobbling around in these Group 3s, does he? And quickening past inferior rivals.
Oh, he's a superstar. And just on the topic of Opportunity, Dave, you mentioned about the strong staying performance. There's the talk of getting further. He's now a group animal in the making. Angus was saying that as well. The rating he's got, the fact that he's in this contest, he's got an Ebor entry as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a real interesting blend of the one that's going to cruise through the race, Al-Azi, that's got that turn of gear or the ability to really quicken, and probably the one that doesn't.
Yeah, that's it. It's you know, like in horse racing, we a lot of the time we build our houses on ratings. Think, right, well, Al-Azi is 114, Opportunity is 110, and but he's a younger horse, 4 years old versus 9 years old. He's got that untapped potential to draw upon, but he's stepping from races whereby they go a stronger early gallop. That, as I say, Warrant Holder at Ascot went to the front, huge roar went up from the crowd, and then it's the stronger stayer that gains the day. This is going to be difficult, it's going to be different, and we know that it's a pattern of race that suits Al-Azi really well. You know, could you see him winning those big field handicaps at these sort of festivals? Probably not, but he loves just going around shattering the leaders and then quickening to the front. He thinks that's he thinks he could do that all day.
Should we have a look at him as well? Al-Azi, who bids for a hat-trick in this race. We were saying it's 6 years since he was beaten in a Gordon here. He hasn't run in a Group 1 race for nearly 5, and Martin Dwyer, friend of the channel, pundit on the channel, beat him in that epic Coronation Cup 5 years ago. Lots happened since then. He's won 2 runnings of this. He proved his worth by winning the listed Charlie Wood Stakes at Beverley last time. And just reading in the paper this morning from William Haggis, you can detect in the print just the affection he's got for this horse.
Yeah, you can see here, just this is what Al-Azi does. One by one, they come off the bridle. He's the last horse to do so. He just gets like squeezed up slightly there, which probably is no bad thing. But when Kieran Fallon, who's on board here, and he makes way for Tom Marquand this afternoon, when he says, right, come on, let's go and win this now. You'll only have to exert yourself for about 20 seconds. Al-Azi says, go on then. And he does it. He's a remarkable horse. I mean, like, I remember approaching William Haggis with some measure of trepidation after that Coronation Cup, because yeah, it's quite rare that trainer has a face like thunder, but he did that there. I think that there was heavy rain on top of watering, and obviously a horse who was very much on the upgrade had been beaten by Piledriver. But what Al-Azi has done since is remarkable, isn't it? He's 12 from 30, so he's got a 40% strike rate, 8 Group 3 races. Is he a superstar? No. Is he a horse who is firmly embedded in the affections of people who watch horse racing day in, day out? Most certainly.
The jockey, Tom Marquand in this case, and of course Jim Crowley's given him victory in the last 2 years. He'll know exactly how long you've got to cruise for before going for it.
And also, he had a penalty last year, because as you reminded me, he'd won the Gordon Richards Stakes at Sandown the previous April. No pen today.
Now this week, with Goodwood and Galway running concurrently, you'd usually associate JP McManus Silks with Galway, but in the form of Goody Two Shoes and also In My Teens, there are chances twice over of pattern race success at Goodwood today. In My Teens has been backed. Really fascinating runner, now trying Group Company. Out of Jers Girl, who for the trainer, Gavin Cromwell, will be a signature mare, because he gave the trainer, or she gave the trainer, the first ever Grade 1 success over hurdles. She's not a hurdler. She's proved she's just not really taken to it. But what she is a very interesting horse on the flat now.
Yeah, she is. I mean, as you say, there was the early promise on the flat. They went hurdling, and it didn't really pay off. But my word, the way that she's galloped away with this. She's got a bit of an ungainly way of doing things, I think, in terms of her head carriage, but she comes away to win this by 7 lengths, and again, different rhythm of race. She's got to build on that here. There's no reason why she wouldn't be able to, and she's in the mix, but
she is.
I really hope that Al-Azi wins this.
So do I. Just a last wrap-up, if we will, on other runners in the race. Ghostwriter, long talented. Look at his form behind City of Troy a couple of years ago. A horse who cost a fortune. I'm not saying it's a retrieval mission necessarily, but has to put that comeback behind now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. You know, it's obviously thus far, considering, you know, it's well documented that Keir Jarabchan bought him at the that sale on the eve of
the London sale.
The London sale on the eve of Royal Ascot 2025, and you know, he's had what, 2 starts since then, and things haven't gone in any way to plan. We know that in there somewhere is an engine. We'll have to see what happens today, but you know, there's clearly got to be something of an upturn in his fortunes to trouble the horses that we've just been talking about.
Good old Emfchar can run well at the track, as he tends to do. Final note then, Al-Azi for the hat-trick?
Yeah, absolutely. My heart and head, I think that he'll do it. I really hope he does.
Okay, it's a big betting day, so for an update on all things markets, let's get to Rachel.
Thank you, Nick. And here I am with Dave Stevens ahead of the final race at Goodwood. It's been an absolute blast this year, hasn't it?
Oh, honestly, I mean, there are weeks in the job where you do have to pinch yourself. This has been one of those weeks. Obviously, the weather has made it spectacular, but the racing has lived up to the billing as well. And yeah, look, if you haven't had fun here this week, then it probably is time to go and do something else.
And I think even if you've not been lucky enough to be at the races, I think watching at home as well. I mean, we've had so many star performances, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 Group 1s in particular, I know they're the obvious place to start, but they are the Group 1s for a reason. Scandinavia, the best stayer around, winning the Goodwood Cup in dramatic fashion. Very different dramatic fashion to the Sussex Stakes that followed the day after, when Bo Echo was the best winner, or was the right horse that won, but in such, you know, thrilling style that Billy Loughnane, I mean, what a ride that was. And then on Thursday's feature, obviously in the National Stakes, Diamond Necklace just proving what a star filly she is. So there've been other great, I mean, American Affair winning the King George Esty for Jim Goldie and Paul Mulrennan, that was brilliant. Wathnan Racing have had a great week here, topped off by Archivist winning the Coral Golden Mile. There's just been so many great stories, and Joseph O'Brien and Dylan McGonigal. I mean, we are running out of superlatives.
Beautiful
for that
pronunciation as well. They're just calling him Donegal now because it's a bit easier than his actual name. But
it's easier to say than to spell, actually. I had to write it
Dylan
earlier.
Brown McMonigal. Also, how can we forget, you know, those amazing scenes with the Bo Echo here? I think so many people chatting on the back of that saying it's probably their best experience on a racecourse, which is something, isn't it? You know, goosebump stuff.
It is, and the fact it happens in what is not just the feature race of this week, but it's the feature race of Goodwood's entire season, the Sussex Stakes. The Roll of Honour is fantastic. You know, Baid, Frankel, the other 2 most recent unbeaten colts to win it. So everything has worked this week. I think hats off to Ed Arkle, the clerk of the course.
Incredible.
Particularly ahead of that first race yesterday. Would the starting stalls come off in time? But it's just
great spectacle, though, for racing fans to get down there, see the whole loading process. I think it was a big hit.
Absolutely. And Ed, I'm sure, will be setting his team the challenge of beating the time it took next year. So, yeah, look, it's been a great week.
And in terms of, you know, business, obviously, I had a bit of fun of you yesterday, didn't I? But, like, with the bookmakers, I mean, they've had a bashing, haven't they, ultimately?
Wednesday and Thursday were tough. I mean, no question. Every bookmaker will tell you. But, look, it's a long-term game. We'd come off the back of an excellent World Cup where results went our way, so I'm not going to ask for the tiny violin.
I like it.
And results changed yesterday anyway.
And today is a tough day for punters, isn't it? You know, even looking at the first race, the Highclere Castle Gin Summer Handicap Stakes. I mean, I think today there's just so many good betting heats.
Yeah, and this is what you want on the Saturday, because Saturday is the biggest betting day of the the week. Let's never forget that. 11-4 the field, valedictory favourite, but, and I'll probably get the pronunciation wrong this time, but Joseph O'Brien and Dylan Brown McMonagle, again.
Rolls off the tongue now.
Aeronautics 7-1 into 4-1, and that is purely, well, he ran well at Royal Ascot, but that is punters backing an informed team.
And what about the Coral Stakes? Big day for you guys, obviously sponsoring a couple of the big races.
Yeah, and look, we've got to just talk about Al Arzi, winner of the race last 2 years. What is he, 8 or 9 now?
9.
9.
Yeah.
He's 3-1 second favourite behind his stablemate Opportunity, but he would be such a popular winner of this race, Al Arzi. And I think he's got a cracking chance because he does love it here.
Lillie Langtry?
Really open again, one of those races. Sorry, I've jumped ahead to the Coral Stewards Cup. Last year's winner, Wardour, and last year's runner-up, Danielle, 5-2 and 11-4 respectively. Take your pick. Very different ground this year. Believe it or not, it was quite testing 12 months ago.
Let's get straight into the Stewards Cup then. What's the best backed horse?
Well, Evening Side Gone is the best back sort of outsider for Wathnan, who I mentioned could complete a really famous handicap double here. But there's a three-way battle for favouritism. Actually, make it a four-way battle. Far Above Dream, Sondad, Two Tribes, Soldier's Tree. I've no idea. Personally, I've sided with last year's winner, Two Tribes, to win it again.
Yeah.
But again, it's everything you want.
Not the impossible, is it? 6 horses have done it before, of course. We were chatting about Comanche Falls a little bit earlier in the show.
It's far from impossible for a team, Richard Spencer, Rebel Racing, in absolutely flying form.
Yeah, OK, right, we are all out.
I think it's time for a glass of Whispering Angel.
I know, we've already had one.
Yes, well, I was invited to that party.
You liar, you also had one. Dave, thank you so much. Always wonderful company throughout the weekend. Good luck for the last day. Right, that's the betting update ahead of the final day here at Goodwood. Back to you, Angus.
Rachel, Dave, thank you very much indeed. I'm delighted to say Josh Kerr joins me in the studio now. And Josh, we're going to have a chat about the draw over 7 furlongs, which is particularly relevant.
Yes, it's Stewards Cup Day, so the word draw has already been mentioned plenty enough. If you're interested in that, recent renewals suggest high has been the place to be, but this week it's looked fairly even, and the going stick today suggests potentially even the far side might be quickest. But we don't want to give you that because the sample size is way too small. We want an observable draw bias, and that's what exists over the 7 furlongs at Goodwood, and there's 2 7-furlong contests today. Let's take a look at those numbers then in terms of the draw bias, and you can see that low is certainly favoured from 85 races, 48 winners, going down 24 and 13 with high. That doesn't mean you can't win from high. If you couldn't win from high, that number would be 0. It just means that there is a disadvantage the higher up you go. The average over expected, suggesting for all of those groups that the market doesn't necessarily take that into account. As far as what we've seen this week so far, we've had 6 7-furlong races, 4 of them similar fields to what we've got today. The Oak Tree, Flora of Bermuda winning that from 4, beating 6 and 1. 13 ran. Handicap the same day, 20 runners, 10 won it, beating 2 and 1. Similar low stalls winning on Thursday. Today, there's no cutaway, but that's not really a problem either. Recent winners of the 3-year-old handicap today coming from 1, 3 and 4, and a similar story for the Colts and Geldings Maiden. I mentioned that 3-year-old handicap. Let's take a look at how that race is likely to unfold from a pace point of view, because that can give you some more clues about where you might want to be. I mentioned the fact that low stalls have an advantage and certainly high have a disadvantage. Well, who are those horses drawn low? You've got the favourite Weir Gooses there. You've got Ghost Mode like to go forward, but also just sat behind that pace is Marengo Storm, and you can see from the figures at the top there in terms of where you want to sit that being prominent just off that front rank tends to be an advantage as well. And in the form of a progressive Richard Hughes 3-year-old, Marengo Storm could represent the value today, albeit has halved in price from yesterday. It was 14s yesterday, but nonetheless potentially still value compared with Weir Gooses. Winning last time at Newmarket, the back of this trio as we pick them up 3 out. Difficult to assess this form. The handicapper took that view as well, only putting Marengo Storm up £1, but quickened really nicely here. They were doing par sectionals and then 2 outs quickening to an 11.09. That was fast versus par, will finish par, and showed a nice turn of speed. And in terms of stride, again, very much matching a pattern what you would like to see for a winner over 7 furlongs around Goodwood. And the cheek piece is going on first time. The numbers are no negative for Richard Hughes there either. I wouldn't put you off Weird Gooses. I'm just suggesting that perhaps Marengo Storm next door might potentially represent better value.
Interesting stuff, Josh. So low draw, tracking the pace is the big takeaway, really, over 7 furlongs.
Yes, and sort of using that kind of similar methodology. The Wathnam runner in the following race, in the maiden, may also represent a bit of value there as well.
Good stuff, Josh. Thank you very much indeed. Let's have a look at the market for that particular race. It is the 4:10. It's a Class 2. It's over 7 furlongs. Weird Gooses, who Josh was talking about to a degree, is 9-4. Iron Will is 13-2. Look at that, though. Stall 10. So that wouldn't necessarily be one that you want to take a short price about. Marengo Storm being backed, as Josh was saying, 7-1, Stall 1. That might be why this horse has taken some support. Naval Light, 15-2. 8-1, Wild Desert. Ghost Mode, keen going sort, more likely to be prominent from Stall 4, 9-1. Startled from 12 is 12-1. It's 12-1, Start Me Up. 16s and bigger. The rest, let's get Steve's thoughts on this. Let's have a chat about Weird Gooses, first of all, for Hugo Palmer and Oisin Murphy. Stall 2, from what Josh is saying there. But Steve, it's a good draw. This horse was favourite for the Britannia, but disappointed.
Yeah, it's which Weird Gooses to turn up. Probably should have won on his reappearance at Newmarket, where he went for home a long way out and got reeled in late. He then justified heavy favouritism in a handicap and won by this, what we're seeing here, at the not the Guineas meeting, the later meeting. Anyway, won in really good style. The handicapper didn't miss him. He stuck him up £11 for this, which is a fair bit, but that didn't stop the punters making him 4-1 favourite for Britannia, and he came last of 30. He's been gelded since then. Maybe that will make all the difference. He's got a great draw, as Josh was pointing out, but I think you've got to have the faith. You know, you've got to be a forgiving nature, I think, to get involved at 9-4, a horse that was stone bonker last time out.
You have to take the view that he was a miss, that something was wrong, haven't you? Because that's nowhere near his running.
You wouldn't have thought so, but even the win we saw, £11 is a lump, isn't it? You know, the handicapper didn't miss him at all. So I'm not saying he can't. Clearly, he'd be on your short list, but I'd be looking elsewhere. I think it's a more open race than 9-4 the field, personally.
Yeah, I think it is quite open. It's a good race. It's 3 years.
Good race.
A lot of them quite progressive as well. So let's have a chat about Naval Light. Carl Burke's having a good week, really, although he'd have been disappointed with Night Raider in the sprint yesterday. Jack Nicholls rides. And this is Catrick. This is last time up. This was the second win on the bounce for Naval Light. And for Catrick, this was quite a fast-winning time for him.
Yeah, I think this is a horse who's starting maybe to deliver. Last year it ran well at Royal, the horse ran well at Royal Ascot, was well backed for a 2-year-old here at Glorious Goodwood and got beaten. But at that stage, you'd have thought he'd be better than an 88 horse, the sort of race he was running in. It's taken a while to find his form. He won at Pontefract 2 runs back. And I thought this was his career best performance so far. Yes. He came through strongly in the closing stages. We called it a good time to win. I like the fact they're claiming 3 off him, so he's effectively running off 85 today. Stall 8, not wonderful, but he's a hold-up horse. So I think, in a sense, I'm hoping that won't make a difference. Just at the prices, Angus, I thought he was... I could see the argument for him. And as you know, as everyone knows, Wathnam like their horses aimed at the big festivals. And I suspect this has been on Carl Burke's radar since he won that day.
Yeah, I suppose the fact that he handled that sharpish track is good news, coming to Goodwood. But he took a while to just wind up. And the race did... I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment.
The race did fall apart in front of him a bit.
They did. I think a lot of the 7 furlong races at Goodwood, they go pretty quick. I think they're aware that low numbers are a good thing. I just think he's a horse who's... I think the penny has taken a long time to drop. I mean, he actually won at 6 furlongs where he broke his duck at Pontefract. I don't think if without pace, he is a little bit lazy. But Jack Nicholls rode him last time, which I think is a good thing, so he's aware of what the horse does. I don't think the track's a problem at all, and I think 88 I think is a competitive mark in a wide open race.
You just get away with this from stall 8 as well.
Well, I say that's not ideal. You wouldn't choose stall 8, definitely wouldn't. But he is a hold-up horse, and hopefully it won't matter as much for him. But yeah, I'd certainly rather be drawn 4. But you know, I guess the price takes that into account a bit.
Quick line on Marengo Storm, who's been well backed.
Yeah, I can see Josh's argument. I thought it won all right last time. The second for Love runs at Newmarket today.
Okay.
I think the mark is all right. Luke Morris has been booked. Cheek Piece his first time. Stall 1 is a big advantage.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. He was overpriced at 14-1 for sure.
Yeah, OK. But Naval Light for you, just.
Yeah, in a wide open race. I'm not pretending it's a strong view, but I think the horse is capable of running all right off his mark.
Yeah, certainly still looks a little bit green at Catterick, and there might be a bit more to come from Naval Light. Now let's have a look at the time form race of the day. OK, let's have a chat about the time form race of the day with David Johnson, who joins me now. David, how are you?
Good afternoon, Angus. Yeah, I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, in good form. I've enjoyed the week. It's been tremendous, hasn't it?
Well, hasn't it just, yeah, you know, sort of go back to Bo Echo in the week. Just everything that you want to see, wasn't it, really? The 3-year-olds taking on the milers, and obviously he came out on top in not just in good style, but dramatic style. You know, that's what we want these top-class races to really produce. And, yeah, I think it's been a fantastic week, hasn't it?
Yeah, top-class performances from Diamond Necklace and Scandinavia as well. But we should turn our attentions to your race of the day, the Coral Stewards Cup. And it comes up at 3:35 this afternoon, David. What are your ratings saying?
Yeah, unsurprisingly, very open for a handicap of this nature. And I think, obviously, it's an early closing race, and that's what you can sort of see in the adjusted ratings that horses that have been running well quite recently are very much towards ahead of them. Far Above Dream, he's on 122. A horse in focus from the Wokingham shaped really well that day and is obviously 3 from 3. Then we've got Dark 30 slightly above him, who has had a really good season for John and Sean Quinn. Lost his way a little bit for Richard Hannon last year, but has very much come back to the boil. And I think with regards to his chance today, it's a little bit of a blessing in disguise that he just got touched off at the Curragh by Sondad. Sondad has a £6 penalty that gives him with, you know, another career best effort needed, whereas if Dark 30 just reproduces that form, he should go very well. But our verdict has come down on Anaf, who has a little bit of unfinished business in this race. He was really unlucky in it last year, I think, from a mark of 107. He's a Portland winner off 106, so running off a BHA mark of 100 here, I think he's very much looking like he's coming back to the boil. 5 furlongs at Ascot wasn't far enough last time, and I think if that low draw doesn't prove a problem, I think he's a really interesting runner.
Yeah, I think he is as well. James Owen's got a good hand in this race. Far Above Dream is a time form horse in focus, and this is a horse who does go well here, really likes the track.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, that run in the Wokingham showed that he's not necessarily just a course specialist. But yeah, when you handle Goodwood as well as what he does, like you say, I think he's 3 from 3 here. And he's just got that profile of so many of these James Owen horses that just keep improving by the run. And we certainly don't think we have his ceiling yet, I don't think.
No, I think there could be a fair bit more to come from Far Above Dream. In terms of how the race is going to be run, no prizes really for guessing that there's going to be loads of pace on.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's sort of how it's going to hinge, isn't it? Low or high. I think I'd be inclined to think you want to be against those in the middle. And I think, you know, we saw at the Stewards Cup draw on, was it Thursday lunchtime, that there was definitely a perceived bias or a perceived thought that high was going to be on top with how the stalls were chosen. And Get It, I think, is going to take them along from those high draws. He made all from, I think, 28 a couple of years ago. So you don't need to be a genius to try and work out what they're going to try to do with him from 27. But I'm just hoping that those that are drawn low, the going stick reading suggests that it is actually marginally quicker over there. So you want them to stay over there, race where they should do. And, you know, you don't have to go back that far to see that Stewards Cup winners have come from low draws and high draws as well. So I think if the jockeys ride to the draws, the track is probably fair enough to give us a fair result.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think avoiding the middle is the thing to do. Thank you for that, David. Give us the time form 1, 2, 3, would you?
Yeah, I think we've got enough. You know what? I don't actually have it up in front of me.
Oh, okay, sorry, I've dropped you in it there. Far Above Dream, you've got to beat Tuco Salamanca and Anaf in third. Does that sound right, David?
You're better informed than me, yeah.
All right, mate.
Enough, so let's hope that he can get involved, definitely.
David, I wholeheartedly apologise for stitching you out. Thank you very much for,
That's okay. For cheers, Angus.
All of your contribution. Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks to David Johnson of Timeform for joining us. Let's have a look at the Lillie Langtry now. Qatar Lillie Langtry Stakes is a Group 2. It's over 1.75 miles. Here are the last 10 winners to contextualise this race for you. California in 2016 for John Gosden. Endless Time for Charlie Appleby. Pilaster won for Roger Varian. NBR for John Gosden. And NBR did it again in 2020. Wonderful Tonight for David Menuisier. Sila Rosa, really good horse for the William Haggis team. That was in 2022. The Coles won it with Sumo Sam in 2023. Horse who made all the running that day, I seem to remember. Term of Endearment, Henry de Bromhead in 2024. And Wardar last year, winning this race for the Owen Burrows team. And doing so in good style. With 8 runners last year, Wardar beat Danielle and Goody Two Shoes, and the 3 of them meet again this afternoon, and Wardar is 5-2 favourite. It's 11-4 Danielle. Santorini starting there at 9-2. Consent's 11-2. 7-1 Amelia Earhart. And Goody Two Shoes, Dylan Brown McMonigal for Joseph O'Brien, horse who was placed in the Melbourne Cup, is the outsider at 10-1. Interesting. It looks like a big price, doesn't it? Anyway, non-runner is number 5. 6 Go. Wardar is a daughter of Postponed. She has a nice pedigree. She's out of a new approach mare, and her family is a middle distance staying one. Plenty of stamina on the dam side of her pedigree. And the step up in trip in this race last year really suited her, and she ran in accordance with her pedigree to beat Danielle by 3/4 of a length. I wonder if it's going to be a case of the same thing this afternoon. Here's Nick.
Thank you very much indeed, Angus. And rider Callum Rodriguez, after winning on Archivist yesterday, bids for another big race success at Goodwood today. She's not had that much racing, really. This was slower ground than what she'll face today, but we'll come to her run behind Is Strange. She bids to emulate the likes of Endbahar and Wild Coco. She looks to have potentially quite strong claims of doing that. What do you think?
Yeah, she's sort of emblematic, Nick, in a way, isn't she, of the way that Owen Burrows does things, the winner. And was progressive, is 2 from 2 at Goodwood, both of them on softer ground than today, which we will address shortly. As they left us from the studio to come here, there was that caption with the form. You'll see that figure 8, which was a disappointing run behind Kalpana at Ascot last October. But as if by magic, we now come to the Leicester Piggott Stakes, Filly Stakes. This, of course, was rerouted from Haydock Park when they had the issues, and it is Strange that wins it. Obviously now a Group 1 heroine. That's the grey horse, if you don't know, and it's Wardar on the outside in the yellow. A couple of things that this informs us: that she is, I think, just as happy on quicker ground as slower terrain. It was faster this day at Carlisle. Perhaps not a unanimous verdict from the jury, but I think maybe a majority one in that regard, Nick. And the other thing that this would tell us, that obviously she's returned in good form, and you would imagine that having posted a personal best over 1 mile at 6 at Goodwood, having run behind a subsequent Group 1 winner staying on over 1 mile and 3 at Carlisle, then conditions here would trigger a step forward from that.
And she's got, well, she had the 3rd that day, Coadana, who went on to win a listed company as well. Yorkshire Oaks, Irish St Ledger, Ark Entry, potentially the words at her oyster, or certainly she's capable of having a very big year this year, 2nd time up. We ought to have a word about a horse who was 2nd last year in the form of Danielle, who the ground is the caveat for me, but she has taken her form literally, when you talk about her rating, to a new level in the last couple of starts.
Yeah, she has. I mean, we're now looking at Danielle winning at York.
Yep.
But prior to that, she'd absolutely run away with the Gillies Stakes at Doncaster last November. That was run on heavy ground, and she streaked away to win by 6 lengths. This is the Bronte Cup for fillies again, and she is similarly impressive. Well, no, she's not similarly impressive. She wins, but she's not quite as impressive. She shows quite a lot of knee action there, doesn't she? And that will be the issue for me. She's a 5-year-old. It can't be any fluke, can it, that she's been kept largely away from quickish ground thus far, and I think that'll be an issue today.
See, I thought she was impressive. I was completely with you on the first time. The ground, yes. The fact that she's still in training as well, considering her age, they've kept her about. They could have headed off to, considering her pedigree, considering her level of achievement. They obviously feel there's some unfinished business.
I suppose just the fact that she won by 9 at Doncaster, and you needed a telescope to see the rest, and but it's a high class race, and maybe I damned that with faint praise, but in any case, I do fear that quicker terrain could be a problem for Danielle today.
How do you see the rematch of the rematch between Consent and Santorini Star? They met at Donny, went the way of Santorini Star. The Group 1, in no uncertain circumstances, went to Consent.
Yeah,
Santorini Star looked like being a really good horse first up this year. It's not quite followed since, necessarily.
Well, the wheels came off in the Hardwick, where she came back in distance, and she had cheek pieces on, and it was really a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? I know she was, she wasn't really fancied to win, but she didn't run very well at all. I think, obviously, we've got the form from France where Consent won. Is that the Prix Vicomtesse? And there's another name.
Royalier?
Was it? I beg your pardon, it was the Royalier.
No, it was the Vicomtesse this year, was it?
The Vicomtesse Vigier, it's called. And so Consent turned things round from Doncaster, the Park Hill, when Santorini Star had been successful that day. I think that ground-wise, again, I think quicker ground will suit Santorini Star. There is a sticking point with Santorini Star, and that's that she's got a penalty for the Group 2 wins. She won against the males, but probably substandard males for a Group 2 race like the Jockey Club Stakes, which can be, a bit of a curate's egg, that race, can't it? Let's be honest about it. But she's a dual Group 2 winner. Yes, she has a penalty, which is a pain in the bum, frankly, but she's earned it. I think that going back on, without the headgear, going back up to a 1 6 miles, I don't think she'll have any problem. Well, she won't have any problem with the ground at all. And I like the chance of Santorini Star. I think she's got a lot going for her. If Consent and Danielle, I think, are in trouble with regard to the ground here, and if that's true, then I see it as a straight fight between her and Warder. And she's not 5-1, 9-2 shot when Warder is 9-4, 5-2.
And talking of keeping horses in training, William Haggas expressly said at Newmarket in May she's been kept in training to win a Group 1. He rued not putting her in the Coronation Cup at that point. I think that second to Cabella de Mar, if she runs that race again from 2 starts ago, I think she'll win today. The last thing I wanted to mention very quickly, the curious case of the Oaks favourite, Amelia Earhart.
Yeah. I do beg your pardon. You're absolutely right. That the Consent and Santorini Star ran in the Royalier, and it was the Vicomtesse Vigier that was
they met a load of times,
the near miss behind Cabella de Mar. Apologies. Yeah, Amelia. What do you do with a problem like Amelia? I mean, the hood and the headgear, 2 bits of headgear for the Cheshire Oaks. We're all saying Aidan O'Brien's a genius, which I suppose we know anyway, but she was disappointing at Epsom. They were expecting more in the Irish Oaks, and they got a little bit more, but not very much. And yeah, that'll be a surprise to me today. At the moment, it looks to me as though Amelia Earhart just simply isn't quite as good as her early season billing suggests that she might be.
Well, the Lillie Langtry is a group race in the calendar that Aidan O'Brien is yet to win. How careless of him.
Yeah.
So maybe Amelia Earhart can change that. But for you, Santorini Star?
Yeah. I think she's interesting. I really do.
OK, we're in agreement. Santorini Star for both of us in the Lillie Langtry.
Preview, proudly sponsored by Typeform.
We're into the final bend of the Coral Fad Derby, where racing lovers of the UK are in a spectacular contest. And what's this? He's shaking his phone like it's a pocket-sized maraca. They're all getting rewards now. He's shaking it, she's shaking it, they're all shaking it. Play the free Coral Reward Shaker to win guaranteed daily rewards and offers. Coral, we're here for it.
Full SP Preview, proudly sponsored by Typeform.
Last day here at Goodwood. The fun and the fashion never ends, though. Look at all of this gorgeous colour. I have found these fabulous ladies who are a little bit shy, but they are out to have a wonderful day. Where have you guys come from?
Portsmouth.
And why Goodwood? Do you always come here?
Because it's good fun here, yeah. Yeah, we've been here a few times.
Have you ever had any winners here?
Not for a few years, no.
Bless you. And are we having winners today is the big question. You're the tipster, are you?
No, I'm not. No, my husband might be, but I'm not.
Have you got your card marked yet? Do you know who you're backing?
We've done a couple of play spots, so we're hoping Tammy's going to be bringing better luck than Thursday.
Like a lucky dip kind of thing. What about yourself?
I've got a few writ down.
She's got them. Is there like a little padlock on that bag? Are you going to tell us any of them?
No.
No. All right. Hey, you look so lovely.
My mind when I look at them, though.
Don't ever change your mind. That's the golden rule. If you pick one, keep with it. Have a lovely time, girls. So nice to meet you. And I feel these boys, they might actually be well ready to give me a winner, I guess. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Tell me, last day at Goodwood, have you enjoyed the week?
It's been amazing. Yeah, the racing's been superb and the weather's been amazing as well.
Yeah, and have you been watching from afar or have you been here?
Been watching at home all week and yeah, we made the journey out today from Surrey to come down and watch.
Lovely. And have you got all the ladies? Actually, you could actually go and help those ladies, I think, with a few winners today.
Yeah.
They're struggling.
Okay, fine.
Who are you backing?
I'm backing Get It in the Stewards Cup. Hopefully you're going to get the rail again and blast like it did 2 years ago.
And what about the performance of the week so far?
It's got to be Bo Echo, pure excitement.
Incredible scenes.
Yeah, so good. Getting
Brilliant.
up late as well again.
And who have you come racing with?
So I've come with 3 of my pals from school and this is Josh here. And yeah, we try and come every year, but we've got the weather this year, so.
We've got the weather and we've had it every single day. Good luck with the previous winner, Got It. And Josh, you look very cool, by the way.
Thank you.
Very suave. Pint down, ready for the chat, and hopefully ready to give me the winner of the Stewards Cup today.
Evening Saigon. Yeah.
You're going with Evening Saigon.
Evening Saigon.
Do you know what? That works absolutely perfectly because James Doyle, fabulous jockey, is going to be riding Evening Saigon, Josh's selection in the Stewards Cup. And I believe Josh Kerr's got more in the studio.
Yeah, it turns out I'm the second best looking Josh on the channel today, but there we go. Yes, the Qatar Goodwood Festival. It's the biggest meeting of the year outside of Royal Ascot for the Wathnan team. They've had a good week so far, 5 winners, 3 of them ridden by James Doyle. He often has a tricky choice in trying to choose the best horse to be on, but he's doing all right so far this week. Those 3 winners bring him to 4 winners in the last 12 months. At Goodwood, his strike rate 12.5%, which is slightly below his general strike rate over the last 12 months, which is closer to 20. The average over expected, though, around 1, suggesting that the market tends to be a good guide. He's got 5 rides today, and perhaps the best chance of them, the best opportunity, is just that, opportunity in the Glorious Stakes, and has been one of the horses of the season in terms of progressive handicappers. Came back following that gelding operation in a very deep race in Ascot that worked out very well. And then went to Carlisle here. And what we learnt here was that Opportunity does have the ability to quicken. This was not a strongly run race by any means, the finishing speed percentage showing that. And I don't think it's going to be a wild pace today. So showed that ability to quicken, then went and won the Duke of Edinburgh at Ascot. That day, it was a much stronger pace, showing that gritty determination. So is relatively versatile in terms of how this race might unfold. In terms of stride pattern, is bang on what you would expect for a group winner over the trip at Goodwood. So that's another tick in the box for Opportunity as well, and I think is certainly the one to beat, because to win those Royal Ascot races you need plenty in hand. Now Group Company, the only place to go for Opportunity. I would have the biggest danger, though, Angus, as Enfjar, unexposed over the trip, stepping up, and again a stride pattern that could easily suit this test.
Good stuff, Josh. I'm glad you've talked about Opportunity, because I think he's got a tremendous chance. I really like him, Steve. It would be my play of the day at Goodwood, if you like, my nap.
Yeah, he does look to have a really strong claims. He's progressing. His season was foreshortened last year, but he's making up for it this year. And yeah, he's the Ebor favourite, and they're going the group racing route instead, aren't they?
I think he's a group horse, given what he did at Ascot under James McDonald. A brilliant ride from McDonald, we should say.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot was made about the draw, but it didn't look it when he rode it.
He's a world-class jockey. Let's just turn our attention to Newmarket, because Steve's got an interesting horse to talk about in the 3:58 contest. And it's an 8-runner, mile-and-a-half handicap, and it's Divine Night. It's trained by William Haggis. Kieran Fallon rides a 6-4 shot, Stephen. You think this horse has got a good chance to
Yeah, well, he's not been missed this morning, I'm afraid, Angus, so nothing original, I'm telling you. I just thought last time, I think the race at Ascot that he ran in, which was run by Galilean Quality, who'd run really well at Royal Ascot the time before and was bred to relish 1 mile 6, which he duly did. This horse was well back to beat him that day, and for most of the race, you fancied he could win. He went 2 clear early in the straight, and he gave the impression that it didn't quite get home. He's a son of Night of Thunder. Didn't think he particularly bred for 1 mile 6. So I can see the argument of dropping him back to this trip. And amazingly, because I think it was a good race, they dropped him £1, which I think was, maybe neither here nor there, but it was, it's better than going up in a weight. So I think he's reasonably treated. It's not a deep race. He'll be up there all the way, and he's got an obvious favourite's chance.
Yeah, he's got an excellent chance, I think. Divine Night in that 3:58 at Newmarket. It's Opportunity for me at Goodwood. Anything at Goodwood you particularly floats your boat?
I don't disagree with Opportunity. I think he's got a really, really good chance.
I thought Valedictory in the first as well. I quite like him for the Gosden.
That's a cracking race, isn't it?
It's a good race, yeah.
I absolutely, and I say I'll be cheering on Realign and the Stewards Cup at a big price.
Yeah, that was an interesting case you made for that horse. Steve's back later, full SP review.
Yes, please.
Right?
Yep, looking forward to that.
Good stuff. And you can win a Racing TV merchandise bundle by getting involved in the Full SP Challenge. You just got to name the first 4 in any order in the Stewards Cup. It couldn't be simpler than that. Scan the QR code to get involved. RacingTV.com you can go to as well, and you can enter that way as well. First 4, any order in the Stewards Cup. We're making it easy for you. We're not asking you to get them in the right order, just any order.
You win 2 bundles if you do.
2 bundles if you get them in the right order and just make 4 selections. And Steve gave you a hint or 2 earlier on. Good luck if you're getting involved in that. We are going to have a look at the 150 contest now. Let's have a look at the market for this. The Highclere Castle Gin Summer Handicap. There's Valedictory I just spoke about, 11-4. Aeronautic And that man, Dylan Brown McMonagle, isn't he riding well? He's a tremendous jockey. He is 4-1. It's 4-1 Singers a Song. Hopewell Rocks 11-2. 6-1 Small Fry. Tarians is 16s. It's also 16s in Sense. The Line the Stars, 20-1, 25s, and a bigger the rest. Thanks to Steve. Thanks to Josh Kerr here in the studio, as well as we go back to Nick on course.
Thank you very much indeed, Angus, and thanks to the team over at the studio as well. I say we wrap up by talking about this race. It's a proper race, really good handicap on which to finish. Godolphin will be hoping to start the day with a flyer.
Yeah, they will.
Albeit for the Gosdens.
I think that they've got a good chance of doing so as well. It seems as though that going up to 1 mile and 6 and cheap pieces has taken Aeronautic, Valedictory to a different level. He looks like a horse from the outside who has taken a bit of time as a work in progress. Here we go. Yeah, this is a victory at the July Festival, and it's on the back of a victory here over this course and distance at the end of May. Here he'll beat Roaring Legend by a neck. He's gone up £3 as a result of this. It's a bit of a frantic finish. We'll see in the end here, but
he's a lesser exposed horse at this distance. He got the ground well over the trip as well. Look, there's talk, of course there is, given the prize pot, given the profile of the horse, given the trainer as well of the e-board. He's across the board, sort of 12-1 shot for that, and could enhance his claims yet further. He's a nice horse going forward, but I think it's a deep race. I like Aeronautic.
Yeah.
I have backed that horse.
Aeronautic and Small Fry are both interesting in their own way, aren't they?
The trainer's right out of form, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Should we have a look at Aeronautic, who's trained by Joseph O'Brien? And Joseph, having had, I think, 1 winner at Goodwood prior to this week, is 3 from 7. Courtesy the likes of Galen yesterday, he had the double yesterday, and of course Enceladus winning the Gordon earlier in the week. Also went this year already to Meydan, didn't run too badly. In the run at Royal Ascot last time out, where John Velasquez rode him, the leader rather kind of came back to him and slightly got in his way. He had to gather himself, and he still ran a very good race off his absence. This was in the race last year, the same race that he contests behind Sam Hawkins. You'll see in the red cap, who's about to challenge on the outer. Aeronautics towards the inside with the star on the cap. Similar rating, very similarly rated to this day last year. He hasn't had that much racing since, and considering the yard form, I think he is the one to follow going into today. And if he replicates this run and maybe enhances it yet better still, I think Aeronautic wins today. I've backed him.
Right.
There we go.
Very good case. I think Small Fry too. He came, from the back behind Kislyar, didn't he? And obviously, defiantly, another Joseph O'Brien stable companion has advertised that. But it's, before we say farewell, it's valedictory for me.
Beautiful. Right, let's get back to Angus.
Thank you, Nick. And it's not just Goodwood today, because we will be at Galway for the penultimate day of the Galway Festival. They stage a mixed card as competitive as ever, and we get underway at 2:02 and go right through to 6:05. The hurdle and bumper course is good to yielding in places, and the flat course is described as yielding to soft, but easier on the flat course as it has been there all week. We start with a maiden hurdle over 2 miles and 175 yards. Same trip for a handicap hurdle. Then we've got a listed handicap hurdle. This is a very competitive event over 2 miles, 6 furlongs and 108 yards. We've got a mare's flat race, and then a maiden on the flat over 1 mile, another maiden over the same trip, and then 2 flat handicaps, one over 7 furlongs and a handicap over 1.5 miles to conclude proceedings at Galway, the penultimate day of the festival. That's it from me here in the studio. Thanks for your company. We're going to go to Galway now and join Kevin O'Ryan and Ruby Walsh.
Yes, very good afternoon. Welcome to day 6 of what's been a brilliant festival so far. Some great stories, great highlights, and a great mix and spread of winners throughout the week as well, Angus. Allowed to be joined by Ruby for yet another day here. And Ruby, it's been a hugely fantastic week and hugely successful week.
Long week anyway, Kevin.
Long week as well.
Plenty of winners. The big race is obviously dominated by Tony Martin, Joseph O'Brien, Willie Mullins, and they look to have a strong hand in today's feature again. Well, Willie and Joseph do anyway. But yeah, it's been a great week, long week.
Long week indeed. Great spread of winners, as you're saying. Feature event, the day 6 of the festival, of course, is off at 3:12. The Boyle Sports Handicap Hurdle. Where do you want to start here?
Obviously, Joseph is the place to start with. Comfort Zone, who won the Connacht Hotel Handicap on Monday night with Derek O'Connor, pulls out again. The step up in trip to 2-6 over hurdles should really suit him, and it's easy to see why he is favoured. Harry Cobden's had a pair of winners already and looking for a third one. A couple of English raiders here, Kevin. Hasn't been a few English runners, but they haven't managed to get on the score sheet just yet. But I did think Double Powerful was interesting for Neil Mulholland. He had a great run in the Lanzarote behind the Borrico Lord back in January time. I see Neil is here himself, and Ollie Murphy is doubly represented with American Mike and Sir Galahad. Danny Donadoni was slightly disappointing at Wexford the last day. Looked home for all money and faded late on, but maybe coming down a couple of furlongs in trip might help him get to the line a bit better. But very competitive handicap hurdle, Kevin, as it should be for the prize money.
That was a good run, I thought, given Lizzie Twigg has come out and franked the former Roscommon, and Lizzie Twigg was obviously getting plenty of weight off Danny Donadoni that day. She's come out and bolted up in the listed hurdle.
That was a mile and 7 at Roscommon. The run at Wexford before that, sorry, he was disappointing behind Kilteely Park, over 3 miles. Probably just didn't quite get home that day, but a mile and 7 was always going to be a bit sharp from at Roscommon. And Lizzie Twigg, as you say, franked the form here on Wednesday.
Listed hurdle success to her. Kilteely Park again reopposes. Dream On Baby, well supported in this race last season. Obviously there's an issue down at the start, hence she didn't run. She was looking the other way. Obviously with the hood on for the first time, along with the customary tongue tie, she used to be dangerous as well for Emmet Mullins. Had 2 winners this week.
Yeah, had 2 winners, Cock and Bull and Vantage Code last night. So yeah, Emmet's also in good form, done a mile of rides, and you'd have to respect Dream On Baby's chance. The other handicap hurdle is really competitive as well, the 2 mile. Interesting enough, Put It Pound in the Jar doesn't turn up, and Autumn Twist ran earlier in the week doesn't run either. But that's extremely competitive. The maiden hurdle to kick the card off, a couple of highly rated flat horses in it. Columbus of Willie Mullins's ran behind Midnight Jet at Killarney. Doesn't have to improve much on that run to collect. 2-year-old maiden, only the 4 runners over a mile. I guess they're all being bred for speed these days, and you can't get 2-year-olds for a mile race in August. That's slightly alarming, but Victory Speech sets the standard. And I thought Tony Martin, who's having a really good week, could round out the finale with Robbie Colgan and Royal Saxo.
Okay. I thought Apache Outlaw was very well in that handicap. For Aidan McGuinness, another trainer's enjoying a fine week. Plenty more from myself and Ruby throughout the afternoon, but it's time to say hello to the third member of the team. It is our very own Fran Berry.
Kev, thank you very much. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Very welcome here to Trackside for day 6 of the festival. As you can see in shot there, an army of ground staff here keeping the track in as best a condition as possible. We do have a track realignment here today at Galway, with the hurl track going out where the fences were for the opening 5 days here. Much more a galloping test, if you like, compared to the inside, where, of course, Daniel King went down the inner all the way on Put a Pound a Jar in the Galway hurl. The ground is drying, I'd say, all the time. It's a lot fresher out on the outer line here than it has been on the used ground in here. You can see why with the 7 days races that they've changed the alignment. And for the flat racing, and this will be the final move for the flat racing tomorrow, of course, the Ahanur handicapper Randy, winner of the Galway Mile earlier this week, is declared for that. But today and tomorrow there's 7-8 yards of fresh ground all the way, drying ground, but you're right into the inside line here. Drying conditions, maybe the deader side of good, but if you want to win on the flat here today, you got to stay in that. If you end out up here, you're going to struggle. But that is the nature of Galway as we get into later stages of the week. It should be a cracking day's action for the final 2 days. Rain forecast tomorrow, but a dry day in store here ahead of some good racing, which of course includes that Tribe's got a handicap hurl in race number 3. That is a look at the track. We'll catch up with you ahead of the opening race here today at Galway. But for now, we'll get back to Nick Lightfoot, who is in Goodwood.
Yeah, I am. Thank you very much indeed, Fran. We thought that Goodwood was a long week, but we'll actually see what they have at Galway each and every week, but it's each every year, but it's been a super week. You'll see that we've been joined. 2's become 3 with Kieran Schumacher joining both Dave and myself. How's the week been for you?
Knocking on the door slightly, Nick, but horse has been running well all the same, so yeah, it'd be nice to get on the score sheet today, hopefully. And
when you walk down here, I know you know your association with riding at some beautiful places around the world, but when you come here in a place like this, when it looks like this, does it sort of lift the spirits each and every time you walk in the gate?
Oh yeah, but I mean, from a jockey's point of view, your week is only going as well as You know, you're only enjoying it until you've ridden a winner. But I appreciate this pace. It's so picturesque. It's spectacular, and I look forward to this week every year.
Is it, Kieran? Is it a track that you sort of have learned how to ride over the years? Because some jockeys, it's a tricky one. Let's put it that way, isn't it? You know, lots of traffic problems, obviously ups and downs. What's it like to ride?
Yeah, but ultimately, Dave, there's just so much luck involved. Like, you can think you've learned how to ride, and then all of a sudden you just get chewed up and spat out again. Like, yesterday I rode in that conditions race. I was drawn 1. They went no pace at all. We all finished in a heap, and I crossed the line in 4th on the bridle. But, you know, I think you learn how to maybe set the pace and not go too soon. But ultimately, if you're down on that rail and you can't get off it, there's nothing that you've learned over the years that's going to get you off the rail.
So
you know?
essentially, you apply the same principles that you would to basically any other track, but as at any other track, you'll still prey to the slings and arrows of what can happen during a race.
Yesterday we saw the cutaway had been removed, and it was when you join the course proper, it was the rails they remain the same for the whole way down the straight, and when they go no pace and they all quicken as in a line and gaps don't appear, you become a victim of, you get Goodwooded.
Yeah. You were in the race of the week, which for many people will be just about the race of the season so far, which was the Sussex Stakes. Bo Echo won it from start. You were on one of the best older horses in the race, without question, 10 Bob Tony, who finished in 4th, the Queen Anne winner. We can watch that back now. Can we just talk it through from your perspective, what it was like to ride in?
Yeah, obviously the pace was on, the pacemaker went off, the Ballet Doyle 3rd string, perhaps, Wayne Norden, and we were strung out. Ryan was able to get off that rail from that tricky draw and won, and Bo Echo was just following. I was very happy with my position. The plan was just to ride him a little bit chilly again, as we did in the Queen Anne, and I could get onto the back of Bo Echo, so I wasn't ever going to be in any hurry. Just coming down to the 2.5, I actually thought for a moment Bo Echo looked beaten. He came under pressure and Ryan showed a good turn of foot. There was a bit of contact between myself and Bo Echo, but just as I thought Bo Echo was beaten, he just seemed to sprout another leg, and it was remarkable seeing him show that turn of foot. I honestly thought for a moment that I was about to give Billy Loughnane a shout just to give me a bit of room, because I thought I was going better than him, and then he just took off. A spectacular performance, and he's a wonderful horse.
Has Tony run as well as in the Queen Anne or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think, arguably maybe the 3-year-olds are just that bit better, but he holds that form, and he's proven that he is one of the best older horse milers around. You know, he was just beaten by Opera Ballo then, and another few strides I think we would have had him. And we beat him in the Queen Anne.
From your perspective, just watching on, is there a way at a track in which you think Gestard can reverse that form on what we've seen, which everything so far says no? Do you think it could happen?
I think it would be hard on quick ground. I think maybe start on easier ground, but then again, whether Bo Echo would ever run on easy ground, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think Bo Echo is just that league above, perhaps.
It does look that way. Do you know what's next for 10 Bob Tony off the back of that?
I don't really know. Maybe he'll have a little freshen up and, Champions Day perhaps. And obviously winning the Queen Anne, it's a win and you're in to head to the Breeders' Cup. So that's certainly an option. I think that's quite appetising for his owner, Simon Sadler. There are options there. And obviously he's a gelding too. So we're likely to see him again next year. So he's an exciting horse.
What's encouraging from that, though, is that he was a shock winner of the Queen Anne, which inevitably triggers questions of was it a fluke result, etc., etc. And then in the mile race of the season, against 2 pretty dominant 3-year-olds, you're beaten, 2.5 lengths at the line. So at least that proves that this is your level, doesn't it?
Exactly, and we were thrilled with that. We were a little bit concerned about the ground. Obviously at Ascot it was quick ground, but it was the first race, first day, probably the best condition the ground was going to be in. But it's just different here, the way you run downhill. Horses naturally will feel the ground a little bit more running down a hill, but he seems to be absolutely fine on it. And I just thought, there were times where 10 Bob Tony could be a little bit inconsistent, but he's put together 3 runs now, obviously winning at Epsom, the Queen Anne, and running a creditable race in the Sussex. So he's certainly got his act together, and he's got a huge rating of 121, and he's a horse that everyone should respect.
I'm conscious that we don't want to run out of time completely. Time for Sandals ran a super race yesterday. The filly is already a Group 1 winner. She wasn't beaten far in the King George Qatar Stakes, but a lot of people are going to want to know, are you coming into today thinking, notwithstanding the fact that it's the Great Cavalry Charge and a big luck in running race and got to be on the right side, but do you think you've got everything in place to win the Stewards Cup today?
I think so. I think he's got the right profile coming in today, far above Dream. He's won here 2 or 3 times over course and distance. I rode him in the Woking and really fancied him for that. I came in afterwards and told James Owen I thought he'd win a Stewards Cup. So here we are, happy with our draw. He's in great order. He's had a bit of a freshen up since the Wokingham, and I wouldn't swap him.
That's excellent. And it would be, you've had horses, you know, hit the crossbar throughout the week, but this is the one that you were just mentioning to me off air, that the one you were really looking forward to at the back end of the week.
Yeah, I think I think it's my ride of the week in terms of my best chance. Yeah, just 26 other runners to contend with, but yeah, he's my best chance of the week.
And what about his trainer, who's also got Soldier's Tree, who's a big player, class act in the race? I already mentioned earlier in the show, I think he had 27 winners in the month of July, be it jumps, be it flat, be it whatever. The James Owen Roadshow bandwagon just keeps rolling on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's remarkable, really. I mean, you know, I could be watching racing from Windsor on a Monday evening and flick over and see he's having winners at Stratford in summer racing, summer jumps racing, and just all over the board. So yeah, it's an amazing outfit, amazing operation, and he keeps just churning out the winners, and yeah, credit to him. Anything else of the day that you're particularly looking forward to? I thought, you know, in a competitive handicap in the first race, Amanda Perrett's Incense could run a big race. She seems to like it round here. Her career best on a penultimate start, getting black type in the Daisy Warwick round here. So, you know, she's got a nice draw. She stays well, so she should have a chance. Good stuff. Dave, final thoughts from you as well, because we're about to wrap up the final preview show of the week. What are you most looking forward to today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Stewards Cup. I think it's an absolutely fascinating race. And yeah, it's, you know, the Lillie Langtry as well. That's a I hope Santorini Star will do the business in that. But the Stewards Cup is the spectacle of today, history, isn't it? You know, it's a historic handicap, and it's a great spectacle. And unlike for maybe a couple of years ago, it's going to be run in blazing sunshine, which is what we all want. So it's going to be great.
I bet you've been here when it's been anything but, hasn't it, Kieran?
Yeah, last year even. The Nassau Stakes, the infamous Nassau Stakes.
Yeah, with the flag star. Anyway, Dave, thank you very much indeed. Really enjoyed the morning. Kieran, thanks for joining us. Really interested in getting your thoughts on 10 Bob Tony, the grace of the season so far in the Sussex, and good luck with your chances, specifically in the Stewards Cup later.
Thank you very much.
OK, that's it from ourselves. Nick Luck and the afternoon team will be in this very position in a few moments' time, but we'll leave you this morning in the more than capable company of Rachel Casey. Bye-bye.
Mr. Fogg's must be the highest point for hospitality on the racecourse, and for the final day, Neil, we're ending on a high.
We certainly are ending on a high, literally, absolutely literally. What a great space it is here. I love this bar, actually. It's great, lovely cocktails. I've come here actually almost every day this week.
You've been everywhere. You've been everywhere, all around the racecourse, and it's been some week of racing on the track. Listen, we love all the fun of any festival, but when it comes to it, it is the racing that really gets us.
Oh, and it's been magnificent, like the weather. Absolutely brilliant. You've got to say, Bo Echo, wasn't that fantastic to see? The atmosphere really captured the public at that race. And everybody's been talking about that race all throughout the festival. But I've got to say, been surprises, been lots of favourites, and as ever, there have been hard luck stories at Goodwood, lots of traffic problems.
Your biggest performance?
Oh, Bo Echo. I'm sorry being predictable, but I just think there was something magical about that. You know, one of the things you talk about at Goodwood is horses get into traffic jams, don't they? And he got into one there, but the way he came out and won there, and people are talking about the status of him. They're talking about Frankel, and they're talking about Bo Echo.
Yeah, they
What about you? What do you think?
Kiri Abu up Kerry. They didn't take the Sam Maguire, but George Wood. Oh my gosh, how he managed to cope with that horse on the day. Everything that happened down to the start, and I also actually backed him as well. So I loved it.
Rachel.
I think he's a proper horse, though. I mean, looking at the preliminaries, and right, we've had pops, champagne pops, and Whispering Angel today. We've had all sorts of lovely, yummy things.
And we have also got Chablis Premier Crew here, Jean Goulet. So I'm trying to treat you.
What did they say? Oh, you were spoiling us.
You know, well, look, if I taste of this, so 100% Chardonnay.
Straight in, by the way.
That's gorgeous. I mean, we've tasted some great wines this week, and that's right up there. Beautiful finish on it.
Oh,
That's why we
delicious.
love Chardonnay, by the way. You know, just like the racing. We just love racing and we love Chardonnay.
Absolutely beautiful. It's my favourite, you know, Chardonnay.
Is it?
Yeah, obviously this is not full Chardonnay, but anyway. I cannot get over this place, though. It is glorious, the weather all week, but up here, I mean, I just cannot get over the breathtaking views. It's just stunning, isn't it?
It is absolutely stunning. That's why I've spent all week here, everybody. I know Rachel keeps saying I've been all over the course, by the way. But one of the things for me is I'm going to be here a bit later because you've got the Stewards Cup coming up, and this is an absolutely fantastic view here, Rachel. I like to look after you here. You take it all in. You know, I've given you great food, great wines this week. We've had great picnics, by the way. 2 picnics. But take a look at this. 2
very different picnics, may I add. Yeah, no, it is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, for miles, you know, the rolling hills, and, you know, that's what makes Goodwood so special. And I know that we have left your favourite race to the last day. You love the Stewards Cup.
28 runners. That's what I love about it. How's the draw going to affect the racing? Well, the draw took place on Thursday, as we know. One of my favourite horses, Apollo 1, he finished twice. He's finished twice in this race. I haven't tipped up the winner of the Stewards Cup for a while.
I've never backed the winner of the Stewards Cup. So if I haven't backed it, I've definitely not tipped it.
And the thing is, you want to feel like you're going, but for me, you've had a great week, you've enjoyed the racing, but I just want to get back in the car to go back home and think, I tipped the winner of the Stewards Cup, which I think is going to be Get It, by the way.
Yeah.
Come back again and win the race. Form figures recently don't look that good, but George Baker, the trainer, knows how to train the winner of the Stewards Cup.
Oh, he could turn it all
he
around.
certainly can. So who are you going to go for?
I'm going with last year's winner, 2 times. Yeah, to do it again.
A great song.
Cheers. You have been an absolute delight all week.
Too,
Thank you so much. So that is the last hurrah from Neil and from me. Enjoy your afternoon here at the race. And of course, down there, the famous Goodwood Straight, the Cavalry Charge, the Stewards Cup, who will be passing the finishing line first today. Well, we'll find out here on Racing TV. We're going to leave you with the best of the memories from the big race here on Saturday.